INA Studios in Salina. Glad you could join us for another edition of the Trojan War at southeast of Saline and Beloit. Last Friday night, southeast of Saline protected their brand new home field by beating Clay Center 46-7. After just having the ball 3 times in the entire first half, Southeast would lead 16-0 at halftime and then explode for a 30-7 run in the second half. Grady Gebhardt led the way for southeast of Saline as they went on to have almost 500 yards of total offense, 492 to be exact, and Grady Gebhardt with 5 touchdowns on the night. 15 carries, 216 yards, 4 touchdowns on the ground. That's just after having 30 yards of rushing at halftime. Grady also had a touchdown reception of 14 yards. Gannon Jacobson went 12 of 19, 189 yards and a touchdown. No interceptions. Gannon Jacobson hit 6 different receivers on his night as southeast of Saline once again plays with no turnovers in the game. The Trojans now 2-0, and they turn their attention to a team that they played twice last year, and both times on the campus of Kansas Wesleyan. It was a Week 3 matchup on a 3. We'll have Mitch Gebhardt join us, courtesy of Frisbee Construction. Coming up next, though, we'll sit down with the Beloit voice. John Swanson comes to us from KVSV Radio in Beloit. We'll see what's going on with the Beloit Trojans as we enter this Week 3 matchup. It's Beloit, it's southeast of Saline. It's the Trojan War 2025. We'll be back with more Countdown to Kickoff. It's brought to you by L&L Advisors. It's coming up next worldwide on Salina Post and locally right here on KINA.
It's natural to think that insurance is complicated, but at Farmers Agency, we know a thing or two about helping to make it easier by explaining your available coverage options. And with over 25 years of experience in insurance, we can help you through the process step by step. Call Kniper Agency at 825-8419 to learn more today.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
It's the Frog Phone.
Lily Pad Septic, we can get you a flush in a rush. This is Callie. How can I help you flush today?
Yeah, I plunged my toilet, but it's flushing really sluggishly.
I'll send Flush the Frog over to inspect your tank today. Hold.
Come on it, Callie.
Hop to it, Flush.
I'll be there in a splash.
Over here, Flush. Over here. Wow, that was freakishly fast.
Ah, here it is.
Your Care area. Talk to your doctor at Care area. Talk to your doctor about scheduling your next procedure with us. Your surgical experience is our specialty. Salina Surgical Hospital is partially owned by a group of local community-involved physicians.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back here on Countdown to Kickoff, getting ready for Southeast of Saline football here on KINA. It's the renewal of the Trojan War. And John Swanson, for the voice of the Beloit Trojans from KVSV in Beloit, joins us. John, boy, it's here we are again, another Trojan War. And probably the most impressive thing about this game is you look at schedules and how things have evolved in high school football over the years. There's one constant on Southeast of Saline's schedule, and that's this Beloit game.
Yeah, that's true. It seems like we usually play about the third game of the year, and we've had all sorts of different ball games. We had a quagmire here. I don't know how many years ago was that, maybe half a dozen years ago, and it seems like there have been all sorts of different things. The bottom line, a lot of good football players on both sides for sure.
Absolutely. Beloit's off to a 1-1 start after dropping a game at Concordia 1 week ago. This Trojan team has a little bit of different look on offense. Of course, they still have Joel Rexroad in the backfield, one of the best running backs in small football in the state of Kansas, but a little bit different look because a freshman quarterback has emerged in Beloit. What's your opinion on this Trojan offense?
He's a lot of fun to watch. The offense is a lot of fun to watch. It's really nice as a safety valve or whatever you want to call it to have back there, to have an all-state running back just to kind of be the glue for you. Truett King is the freshman quarterback, and he ripped it up in junior high, and he looks good. He's gonna have some growing pains, and he's gonna have his lumps and what have you, but. He's got a good arm. He's thrown for, I believe, 3 touchdown passes, had a couple of picks. One of those was kind of deceptive at the end of the game. He had to throw deep, and a defensive back got under it. But he's looked pretty good so far. It seems like he can make all the throws. His footwork looks good, but he's going to be challenged. Defenses are going to take a look, and they're probably going to blitz him more than he already has been. But at the end of the ball game against Concordia, Beloit got the ball back with 35 seconds to go, and he took us from our own 17 to their 45, and the game pretty much ended on a pick, but it was excited down to the very end.
Yeah, you look at this Beloit team, and I think everybody has in their brains, and they're not wrong, but the perception of Beloit football from last year to this year is oh man, Beloit's so big and they're physical, and that's not a lie. I'm not going to say it is. But what I look at when I'm going through the starters and the rosters and the people that are back last year is, boy, the skill positions are all returning. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and I think the depth of they've got some kids that can rotate in and they don't lose a whole heck of a lot. I mean, obviously Rexroad is a stud at running back, but they've got the Fouts kid, Paxton Fouts, that comes in, the sophomore, and he's pretty good, and he can spell him, and he's got speed and maneuverability as well. And then on the receivers, this is probably the deepest receivers group that I can remember in Beloit. A kid to watch is Jacob Hand coming back from his sophomore season. That kid has made all sorts of different kind of catches, and Joel Fuller is experienced, Cale Lenners is experienced, and they've just got probably more depth than they've had at the skill possessions for a while.
A little bit similar situation for you guys here tonight at the old stadium. This is one of the best stadiums, old limestone stadium. I love coming here, but a little bit different rework of the field, just like Southeast of Saline went through last week in opening a brand new playing surface. We're doing the same here tonight in Beloit. Just talk about the community involvement and the excitement around the renovation that is going to go through different stages here in Beloit.
Oh wow! Yeah, it's been really exciting. The money raised has been unbelievable. The Matus family made a really generous donation, and on Friday night we're going to dedicate the complex is going to be called the Matus Sports Family Complex. And the fundraising has just been unbelievable. That really, when they made their contribution, that really set the pace. A lot of people got involved, and there have just been so many people involved with making things go. They finished the track is all finished. The turf is finished. The turf looks fantastic. And renovations on the stadium will continue into next year for sure. And here's something that may interest you. Hopefully next year we'll have a brand new press box too.
That does interest me. Thanks for bringing that up. And it's just fun to talk about because as you and I were talking about off the air, it was back, 2017, I'm going to guess that was that we sat here and watched it rain for 3-4 hours. We left at 10 o'clock, had to come back on a Saturday afternoon and played that game. Then, of course, last year we played both the games at a neutral site because Southeast of Saline's field just could not hold a game at that point. I don't think we're going to have to do that anymore. We're going to be playing at Beloit or at Southeast of Saline from now on. John, here, just real quick before I let you go, I sure appreciate your time. What are your keys to success tonight for Beloit?
Well, if they can keep, for one thing, I would say if they can keep the big plays for Southeast of Saline to a minimum, if they can keep their offense, Southeast Saline's offense, off the field and not turn the ball over. I think the possession time is going to be huge. I mean, that doesn't mean that they'll just run and not throw the ball at all, but I think they got to keep the ball away from that offense as much as possible. And the yards after the catch are going to be huge, and try to contain that speed you guys always have every year a little bit.
John Swanson, the longtime voice of the Beloit Trojans on KVSV here in Beloit. John, I want to appreciate your time. I want to thank you for joining us here on Pregame. Enjoy the game tonight and have a good call.
Anytime. You too, my friend.
That's John Swanson giving us a preview of the 2025 Beloit Trojans, brought to you by LilyPad Septic Service and Portable Restrooms. When we come back, segment number 3, Coach Gebhardt will join us as we talk Southeast of Saline Trojan football. It's all coming up. Countdown to Kickoff is brought to you by L&L Advisors.
Southeast wins! Southeast of Saline wins! Trojan fans, it's not too late to get your 2024 State Championship merch or to get custom gear to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the 2005 State Championship team at CopyCo. In addition to great SES gear that you can wear all year round, CopyCo also offers custom printing so you can support any student athlete in any activity from football and basketball to choir and band. See them at 2346 Planet Avenue in Salina.
The Kansas City Chiefs earn championship rings, bold, brilliant, and one of a kind. Now you can have a ring that's just as unforgettable. At Vernon Jewelers in Salina, we create custom rings that tell your story. From stunning engagement rings to personalized designs, our craftsmanship makes every piece a winner. Celebrate life's biggest moments with a ring that's truly yours. Stop by Vernon Jewelers, downtown Salina since 1884. We're not old, we're just really good at what we do.
Frisbee Construction is a service organization for the commercial grain industry dedicated to giving you the best in planning, the best in quality, and the best of workmanship, and overall the best value for your dollar since 1949. Frisbee Construction specializes in new construction as well as remodel and repair of grain handling facilities throughout the Midwest. Frisbee Construction Company in Gypsum has emergency crews available as needed. For more information, go to frisbeeinc.com.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back here on Countdown Kickoff, getting ready for Southeast of Saline Trojan football. Southeast on the road for week number 3 as they get ready to renew the Trojan War with Beloit. We'll flash back to last week's game against Clay Center as well as head coach Mitch Gebhardt joins us now. It's brought to you by Frisbee Construction. Coach, a good outing for you last week, 46-7. You're able to win your first game on that beautiful brand new field there at the stadium, and boy, a big win against Clay Center. Kind of a weird game though in the way that Clay Center was playing things and just kind of playing clock possession type stuff. What were your overall thoughts on the game last Friday?
Yeah, I feel like you're exactly right. You know, we had 3 possessions there in the first half, and that makes it difficult to get into what we want to do, I guess, a little bit. I felt very fortunate to score 16 points. Clay Center is a darn good football team, so. We were happy. We felt pretty good about what we were doing coming into the halftime, and knew we needed to make a couple adjustments. I didn't like the way we came out in the second half, but we were 3 and out and had to punt. But from then on, I felt like our kids kind of locked in and did a good job on both sides of the football.
I don't feel like on the broadcast anyway, we have talked enough about the defense for your guys right now. I mean, you talked about it, had the ball 3 times in the entire first half. The only way you can get away with stuff like that and playing a team like Clay Center that's running the flex bone, and we talked about all those challenges, the only way you can get away with that is if your defense is playing extremely well. And I thought they played really well in the first half.
Yeah, I thought we did a good job. That fullback from Clay Center is a outstanding football player, and they've got some linemen up there that are pretty good, and their quarterback does a nice job. But just to have to tackle that fullback that many times, and it takes a lot of people getting in the spots that they're supposed to be. And I felt like our defense did a good job for us.
Caden Berrigan had an interception on defense. You guys were able to take the ball away on a fumble as well. Just talk about your defense and how they're coming together. We talked after week number 1 about the flexibility of some of these guys. What was your thoughts on week 2 and maybe some guys that stood out to you?
I really felt like KB, that interception he did exactly what he was supposed to do there, and came off his area there and picked the ball off and had a nice return on it. I feel like he did a very good job in that situation. But, I just feel like as a unit, our guys are getting better. Obviously, we have a lot of experience back, but, every year is different. But I feel like our guys are getting really good at getting where they're supposed to be, and then getting a lot of people there. I feel like we're playing physical. And if you play physical football, good things are going to happen, and turnovers are going to come your way. And we did get an interception and a fumble recovery, and I think a lot of that's just because we're playing physical.
It was such a contrast in tempo when Clay Center is holding the ball and they're looking over their sideline. They're taking the play clock inside 10 seconds every single time. Then when you guys get the ball, it's almost like the faster you can go and the more the accelerator will go through the floorboard, the better off you are with rhythm and what you're supposed to be doing, just keeping the other team on their heels. Almost 500 yards of total offense again. How do you feel about your offense?
I felt like we did a good job of managing what we had to do in the first half.
KINA Salina.
We had a couple drives there that were good. I felt like in the second half our offensive line kind of took that game over. And offensive line, we rushed for quite a few yards there and had 2 long runs. But a lot of that, all of that starts up front with getting blocks. And then I really feel like our receivers, Malachi and Caden Berrigan in particular, do a great job of blocking downfield for guys. And, when you have a running back that does a good job and you can make cuts off of those blocks, good things can happen.
Speaking of your receivers, they are great blockers, and that's fun to watch in the running game. I want to talk about the passing game. Sometimes when you have a blowout and you put the second string guys in the fourth quarter, you see some inflated numbers in the receiving core. But Gannon Jacobson, we're talking first-team offense, was able to hit 6 different receivers in this game as he went on his way to 189 yards passing. Once again, no turnovers on offense. Just talk about Gannon and the way this offense is clicking right now.
Well, and this is Gannon's second year. If you remember a year ago, right now, we were probably talking about some things he was just struggling with seeing. And, obviously, as the year progressed, he did an outstanding job with that. But he's seeing things real well. But we are blessed and have been for a long time with multiple guys that can catch the football, multiple guys that run good routes. And then all those guys also, when they get in the open field, at any point they can break a long run or score a touchdown. So, he does an outstanding job of finding those guys, and then those guys do a good job of making plays when they need to. Again, and I'm gonna give props to our offensive line. We rotate several guys and even some younger guys in there, and Gannon has to have time to be able to throw the football, and they're doing a good job too.
Let's go back to the offensive line. You touched on it a bit in the running game. Grady Gebhardt had 30 yards rushing at halftime. He ends with 15 carries, 216 yards, 4 touchdowns on the ground. His second half was something else. And I start with the offensive line, Coach, because you did, but also when I'm seeing Grady on some of these long runs, he is already at the linebacker level when he comes through and gets first contact.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. Those guys up front are doing a terrific job. They take care of what needs to be up front there, and a lot of times they're getting to the backers and getting some of the backers blocked also. So, you got to give kudos to those guys for being able to do that, and that's what makes the run game go. And I really felt like in the second half against Clay Center, our O-line kind of took over.
Your 2-point conversion rate was pretty good in this game as well. How the special teams playing right now?
I think we're doing well. We're still working on the kickoff team, and I think that's part of that is that's the team that makes me the most nervous. It just, when you're kicking the ball off and you got a fast guy bringing the ball at you, it always makes the coach scared. But, I think we've done a better job. We've got some guys that are doing an outstanding job in those positions now. So I think we're getting where we need to be. We need to continue to work on some things and make sure we're squared away, but I think they continue to get better.
Beloit coming up here tonight in Beloit. How was your week of practice?
Yeah, we've had a decent week of practice. The weather doesn't affect us near as much now with the turf, so that sure helps us out. But we've had a good week of practice. Obviously, we have to with who we're going to get to play.
Other levels of Trojan football this week, JV, junior high, how'd those guys do?
Junior high had a nice win over at Lions. I believe it was 28-6. Played really well the second half. Our JV lost one 16-12 against a very good Clay Center JV team. I felt like our kids, we were down at halftime and kind of came back and had a chance there at the end of the game. So, I felt like our kids did a good job there in the JV. It's not any fun not to win that game, but I thought those kids did a good job.
I have to tell you this, I bumped into somebody Thursday in Salina just out and about taking care of business, and they stopped me and said, I went out to watch my grandson play flag football, and we're talking second grade maybe, and just how impressed they were at that point even, at second grade, first grade, with culture and the way things are done as business-wise with Southeast of Saline football. How much does stuff like that make you feel good in the culture that's been built? And also, it goes through at all levels.
Well, it does. If you were at our game Friday night, you saw the crowd that was there, and I think that says. I mean, I know we were opening the field and it was our opening game and those type of things, but we have so many people that travel so well with Southeast Saline football, and that helps at all levels. It helps get the kids involved. And I think that's such a big deal. It's important to us out here. You can show up in the weight room in the summer at 6:30 in the morning, and you're going to have 50 guys in the weight room working out. So, I really feel like that. All those things lead to good things on Friday nights.
A league game tonight. You renew your rivalry with Beloit. This was a meeting that you had to play twice last year. It was a Saturday night game at K-Dub after being basically lightning out. A lot of rain had a lot to do with that, but I'm still not sure if we had turf last year, we get that game in with all the electricity in the sky last year. But you win that one 32-6, then turn around and play them again at Kansas Wesleyan in the rain in the playoffs for the right to go to the state title game. You come from behind. Everybody knows the story. 7 seconds left. You run a play. Jacobson to Douglas down the left-hand side. You win that one 34-30 to walk it off. This game takes a little more weight, doesn't it? I mean, it's always big because it's Southeast and it's Beloit. The result of the playoff game and how that game went about last year. But I just look at schedules through your tenure at Southeast of Saline, Coach, and this is the one consistent. It's Southeast and it's Beloit. This is a game that hasn't gone away.
No, it really hasn't. It's always a big game for us. Always has been. Beloit, Coach Gober, and even before that, the years before that, the coaches that have been up there do an outstanding job with Beloit. And if you don't prepare this week and do what you need to starting on Monday, things are not going to go the way you want them to. It's been a great rivalry for us, and I'm sure it has been for them. And we always get excited to play this game.
This is a scheduling thing that you guys get in the fishbowl, so to speak, and you schedule all these games all around, and you have parameters that you have to set with district games and whatnot. But it just seems like that there's a priority between Southeast and Beloit that this game continues every single year, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and I think both of us want to play each other without a doubt. And, it's been an exciting game for several years, and obviously, the way that game turned out last year in the playoffs just kind of sparks even more excitement for the game. And honestly, that first game that we played, if you remember right, we scored 24 points in the second quarter. We had a kick that we recovered, and they fumbled on their next possession. We scored, and then we had a 3 or 4 play drive that we scored on. Well, that game's probably completely different. We took that game completely over in the second quarter. So I really feel like those two teams that battled in the semifinals last year, sub-state championship game last year, were very close, comparable football teams.
What do you see when you look at this year's edition of the Beloit Trojans? They have a young quarterback, but boy, they're still big and physical, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they're massive. Those kids up there are always big, and they do a good job with everything that they do. They've changed a little. I think they're going to throw the ball a little more than they have in the past, and their defense looks a little bit different than it has. Well, off and on, they've tinkered with some things, and so I think they're molding to fit these kids, and and like I said, Coach Gober and his coaching staff do an outstanding job of getting their kids ready to play.
What do you want to see most from your guys tonight, Coach?
I really think we need to take care of the football. We've done a good job so far of hanging on to the football. We need to continue to do that. Last year, we didn't have a whole lot of times that we got turnovers, and kind of had to work our way through that. And we've got a couple this year. It's exciting to get a turnover, and get the ball back quick. And we'd like to continue to be able to do that defensively. But we've got to have a lot of guys at football. They're good, and their backs run well. And we've got to make sure that we get defensively. We've got to make sure and get a lot of guys at football. And offensively, we need to take care of the football, not turn the ball over and get first downs. Special teams in any big game, special teams can make a difference. So that's why we continue to work on them.
Mitch Gebhardt, head coach of the Southeast of Saline Trojans. His guys tonight on the road to take on Beloit. Coach, best of luck. We'll talk to you at halftime.
All right. Thank you, Devin.
Back with more Southeast pregame after this on KINA.
4 walls and a roof can make a house, but a home, that's where life happens. First steps, backyard birthdays, morning coffee, sunsets on the porch. Home isn't something you buy, it's something you feel. And when it's right, you just know. For 22 years, Dan Goebel has helped people in Salina find that feeling. And now he's here to help you. Your home is out there. Dan Goebel knows the way. Call 785-819-1904 or visit Salina Homes to find your way home.
When crop and weather conditions are just right, you need to bale as much as you can, as fast as you can, all while putting up the highest quality product possible. Case IH round balers have the reputation as the hardest working balers in the business to consistently build dense bales with square shoulders that don't sag. No matter the crop or field condition, bale more with Case IH round balers. With easier maintenance and serviceability, you'll spend more time where it counts. In the field, baling hay. Ready to build a better bale? Contact Can Equip in Solomon.
Are you looking for a local brokerage firm to help you with your Medicare, life insurance, and annuities? L&L Advisors is the #1 local Medicare supplement and insurance specialist. Medicare can be confusing. Let the experts at L&L Advisors help make sense of it. Stop by one of 3 locations in Salina or McPherson and speak to an agent about the needs of your family. L&L Advisors, main office at 717 Roach right off Crawford and in the Central Mall Salina and downtown McPherson. Based on honesty and trust, contact L&L Advisors today.
Sage is your go-to source for industrial strength cleaning products, ice melt, floor equipment, paper, asphalt, and just about everything in between. Whether you're a maintenance supervisor, a small business, or just wanting your home to look amazing, stop by 732 North 9th Street in Salina, where we will be happy to assist you. You can also visit us at sageselects.com or call us at 309-1919. Sage Products, the right call every time.
You're a working man with a job to do.
This is Jeff with Vanderbilts in Salina. We are in high-vis heaven here at Vanderbilts. If you need high-vis safety shirts, vests, or jackets, come see us so we can see you. We also have hard hats in the colors black, white, silver, copper, and lime. We now carry ear protection too. Stay safe out there, working on our streets, roads, and highways with high-vis safety gear from Vanderbilts.
Whether on the field, court, or in the operating room, experience matters. A coach loves an experienced team just like a patient values an experienced doctor. Salina Ortho has ABOS board-certified physicians with over 40 years of orthopedic service. If you need help staying active or just want to discuss options regarding the newest techniques and services and specialties that Salina Ortho provides, see one of our trusted physicians or visit salinaortho.com. Salina Ortho, your voice, your choice, past, present, and future.
This has been Countdown to Kickoff. The opening kick is right around the corner.
It's about to get ugly.
Back to the stadium we go for Trojan football on KINA Sports.
Welcome back here to Beloit, Kansas. Devin Haney along with Tyler Smith. Brian Denham providing that live stream video right now on SalinaPost.com. That is brought to you this evening by Salina Ortho. Weather is the subject across the area as late afternoon thunderstorms have been popping up here and there. I understand rain going on right now in Minneapolis with our other featured Salina Post game of the week with Minneapolis and Ellsworth. Here in Beloit, about a 15-minute delay, so we are not going to kick off here at 7 o'clock. We will kick off at 7:15. That just gives a chance for Tyler and I to talk a little bit more to you and get you ready for this game. It's a big one in the NCAA between the two rivals, Beloit and Southeast of Saline. Let's go over your other games around the area tonight, as I mentioned, on SalinaPost.com and Salina Post Sports Network on YouTube. Ellsworth is at Minneapolis tonight. Tomorrow, an 11:30 kickoff on a Saturday, as Sacred Heart will meet Pleasanton on the campus of Council Grove. That'll be tomorrow on Salina Post as well. The other game in the NCAA, Lions, is at Republic County today. And in the area, Salina Central is having homecoming against Hayesville campus. Salina South is at Derby. Abilene is playing Concordia. Chapman and Riley County homecoming at Chapman as well. El Saline is at Norwich. Bennington is playing Marion. Then some interesting games across the state, as we've talked about through our multiple pregame shows today. Cheney and Garden Plain is one we'll keep an eye on. Also, Nemaha Central is at Rossville. 2 undefeated teams there. Fun fact about that game, Nemaha Central has never won at Rossville. We'll keep an eye on that one. Both teams come in at 2-0. Also, Scott City at Hoisington. Those two teams are 2-0. Manhattan playing Hayes. Those two teams are 2-0. And how about the Hayes High Indians? They are going on a crusade across the state of Kansas right now, just knocking everybody off. We'll see what they can do in the Battle of the Indians today in Manhattan. Great Bend plays Bueller in a battle of two 2-0 teams, and Haven plays Smoky Valley, 2 teams that are 2-0. And as I said, the weather, the subject right now, currently here in Beloit, as we look at game conditions brought to you by the Kniper Agency of Farmers Insurance in Salina. The sun is shining over here to our right as we look to our right and see the west-hand side. No rain right now. There is a possibility that some sprinkles could come up again between now and like 7:20. We may not have it. There is a better chance for rain later on in the night, about 10 o'clock. As we check, a 60% chance of rain between now and 7:30. We'll see how that goes. New surface here in Beloit, so the field conditions are not an issue. A little bit of lightning, though. That's what set us back a little bit here this evening. 70 degrees here at kickoff. Really no wind at all. The American flag is just kind of breezing around the pole
here to our east side. By the time we get out of here, it will be down to about 68 degrees. And as I said, we're probably driving home from Beloit in the rain here this evening. As we bring in Tyler Smith here in the broadcast booth. Tyler, a really beautiful facility to have underway. A big project here in Beloit. They have already laid turf. They've laid a new track. Of course, those orange and black colors just kind of coming up off the field. It's a beautiful, beautiful start to what they're going to have multiple stages of an upgrade here in their athletic facilities. I say so far it's off to a beautiful start.
Yeah, it is beautiful, and it's great to see when your community invests in the school and in the future, and that's what this is all about. It's exactly what Southeast did, and it's not ironic that it's teams and it's schools, it's communities that have a lot of success, that have that community support that do this. You're exactly right. If you'd have showed up this thing 10, 15 years ago and saw this has been cutting edge, and even today, 10 or 15 years later after we just went back to the past, it's still beautiful. I mean, and how much excitement does this give you if you're a young Beloit Trojan? We see them down there, as ball boys. I mean, these are kids that are going to get to play on this field, develop, on this field, and that's exactly why Beloit is always Beloit. They pump money and funds and support into everything they do, and it's great to see from our perspective.
A couple of reminders for you. Southeast of Saline's Booster Club helps bring you live coverage to showcase exceptional student activities and build that Trojan or Purple power. It's always a great day to be a Trojan. And also the Southeast of Saline Booster Bash coming up on October 11th. It's your chance to have a great night of fun, support Southeast of Saline activities. As I understand, less than 25 tickets remain for that event coming up on October 11th. Don't delay. If you want to go, make sure you get your foot in the door right now. That's for the Southeast of Saline Booster Bash coming up on October 11th. Let's talk about this game, this matchup, called the Trojan War. It is between, obviously, two teams from the same league, from the same kind of cloth, I would say. They are nitty-gritty football teams. They like to get down in the dirt. They like to just play physical football. And this is a matchup, as much as high school football has changed, I don't really want to say it's evolved, but as it's changed with districts growing from 3 teams to 5 teams, and you have to play these district games, and leagues pretty much have fallen apart. You don't play everybody in your league anymore. The one constant on Beloit's schedule and Southeast of Saline's schedule has been Beloit and Southeast of Saline. They've pretty much made an inside pact that no matter what, they're going to continue this game and keep it going. I'm glad they do, and here we are. The leg up in the NCAA of what you want to talk about for a conference title. And as it turned out last year, they met twice.
Yeah, and 2 just absolute classics. You look at the regular season game, the score I don't think dictated how the flow of the game went. Southeast got some touchdowns on some, pretty crucial plays, but the score didn't really dictate it. And the semifinals, state semifinal game was just an absolute classic. I mean, you could watch that game over and over. You still can. It's on the post. Yeah. If you want to go back and watch it. But it just shows you that every single play, it's the next play that matters the most. No matter if you make a great play or a bad play, it's the next play. You're playing every single second, every snap, every down. That's what's fun when it's Beloit and Southeast. It doesn't matter records. That's what makes this a fun night.
Let me give you recent history on this matchup. We're going to start in the first year of Mitch Gebhardt as he took over for Pat Haxton at Southeast of Saline. 17 meetings, 10-7. Southeast of Saline has a 3-game edge with Mitch Gebhardt at the helm. When they first started out, though, it was all Beloit. The first 6 games between Southeast of Saline and Beloit, then it was Mitch Gebhardt head-to-head with Greg Koenig, the head coach here at the time of Beloit. Beloit got the first 6. Southeast of Saline then took 2 in a row in 2016 and 2015 and 2016. 2017, exit Greg Koenig, entered Brad Gober, the current Beloit coach. That was a Saturday game because, ironically, it was raining that night. We sat here, watched it rain until about 10 o'clock, went home, came back on Saturday afternoon and played. And in 2017, on a Saturday afternoon, Beloit won that game 35-14. Since then, Tyler Smith, it has been all Southeast of Saline. They have won the last 8 in a row, including that playoff meeting last year for the right to go to the state title game. 10-7 the overall tilt right now with Mitch Gebhardt at Southeast of Saline. Beloit won their first 7 of 9. Since then, Southeast of Saline 8-0 in a score of 249-79 in those 8 games. When you play here in Beloit, Beloit has the edge 5-3.
And that shows you what this home crowd, this home community that we just talked about, the turf, the facilities, everything being upgraded, it shows what they bring. But it also shows when you're looking at those numbers that this game, although it means so much, and here's the thing, these two teams both want to see each other in the postseason. I mean, that's the goal. They both want to see each other in a quarters or a semifinal, depending on how everything matches up. So you always want to see, like, how much of the bag are you going to show tonight? Like, you don't want to pull everything out of the bag, all right? You want to keep some tricks for if you see each other, later on this season. But this is just, like you said, this is two teams that will not get each other off the schedule because they know how much better they get week in and week out preparing and playing each other on Friday nights.
We haven't been here since 2022. Last two meetings have been at Southeast of Saline, 3 if you count the playoff game, and actually 2 of the 3 were at the campus of Kansas Wesleyan because of the weather and the unplayable conditions out at Southeast of Saline. So it's been a little bit since we've been here. You might walk into the stadium and think, oh, they put turf in recently. Well, it's been real recent because they just got it done. You can still see there's some raw dirt and things over on the sides. But this is the first game on this new field here tonight. They had a nice dedication ceremony, saluted all the donors before the game. It's also homecoming here in Beloit. The stands are full. There's a lot of juice here, as you can imagine. We went through this last week at Southeast of Saline. Beloit's going through the same thing now as their Trojans are taking the field wearing their all-black unis, and we are looking to have a good game here tonight. As I said, we may experience a little bit of precipitation as we go through with this contest. I don't anticipate anything severe that will keep us from playing. We'll see how that works out. Again, I looked at 2 o'clock at the radar and everything. The forecast said 0% chance of rain, 80 at kickoff. As I took the turn off Highway 81 up to 24 heading west, I said, oh, no, that does not look good. And that's just kind of what we've been dealing with since we've been here. I want to remind you, Southeast of Saline football tonight is brought to you by the Bank of Tesket. Also, Phillips Seed Farms. Smart Insurance with 3 locations, Salina, Abilene, and Harrington, and Hire Scott Mortuary, formerly Roselawn, in Salina. We'll step away. We'll take a break. It's a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll have more Trojan pregame for you here on KINA.
Hi, this is Geraldine Diedrich, RN. If you are planning on having surgery, it is an important decision, and finding qualified care for surgical needs is essential. At Salina Surgical Hospital, our board-certified surgeons and specialized team provide professional warmth in an intimate, home-like recovery care area. Talk to your doctor about scheduling your next procedure with us. Your surgical experience is our specialty. Salina Surgical Hospital is partially owned by a group of local, community-involved physicians.
Southeast wins! Southeast of Saline wins! Trojan fans, it's not too late to get your 2024 State Championship merch or to get custom gear to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the 2005 State Championship team at Copyco. In addition to great SES gear that you can wear all year round, Copyco also offers custom printing so you can support any student athlete in any activity from football and basketball to choir and band. See them at 2346 Planet Avenue in Salina.
The Kansas City Chiefs earn championship rings. Bold, brilliant, and one of a kind. Now you can have a ring that's just as unforgettable. At Vernon Jewelers in Salina, we create custom rings that tell your story. From stunning engagement rings to personalized designs, our craftsmanship makes every piece a winner. Celebrate life's biggest moments with a ring that's truly yours. Stop by Vernon Jewelers, downtown Salina since 1884. We're not old, we're just really good at what we do.
4 walls and a roof can make a house, but a home, that's where life happens. First steps, backyard birthdays, morning coffee, sunsets on the porch. Home isn't something you buy, it's something you feel. And when it's right, you just know. For 22 years, Dan Goebel has helped people in Salina find that feeling. And now, he's here to help you. Your home is out there. Dan Goebel knows the way. Call 785-819-1904 or visit Salina Homes to find your way home.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Welcome back here to Beloit. Weather update for you. Check the radar here while we're in the break, and it looks like we are going to be good on precipitation. They've decreased the chance now to about 20% and possibly looking good until about 10 o'clock. So just kind of give you your update, your window there. As long as we don't have lightning, we're good. A little bit of rain, I think we'll be all right. But that's kind of the update right now. Is it's turned into a beautiful night now after the slight rain. And it was raining here while the sun was shining, so we had that going for us as well. Southeast of Saline football coming up here. Kickoff schedule for 7:15. And our chance to remind you the Gypsum Fall Festival is coming up October 18th. See a full schedule of events for the Gyp Show, Fall Festival, and Carnival on Facebook with the Gypsum Valley Booster Club. And also, fall events are abound right now, and that includes Elite Sports Paintball being invaded by those zombies once again. Elite Sports Paintball is once again holding their zombie expedition. That's going to start up on October 11th. Go to zombieexpedition.com
for more information and to grab your passes to hunt the zombies this fall. Tyler, your new Image Audio, keys to success here. This is a matchup that, man, everybody just looks forward to, and when you see the guys come out on the field, it's about as contrasting as you can get. Beloit in their all black helmets and uniforms, southeast of Saline in their all white uniforms with the purple helmets. They're both Trojan teams, but you can't get any more different than these two squads here.
No, Devin, you're exactly right. And I think tonight, Coach Gebhardt's message has got to be, it's all about the next play. Again, you're not going to win every single play tonight. We've seen that the last 2 Fridays. Southeast has won a majority of the plays. You don't have to win the majority of the plays. You just have to win the big plays. You have to win the plays on third down. You have to win the plays in the red zone. You have to control the football. You can't turn it over. You got to eliminate penalties. What makes it super fun is this the team. We talk about, the three-headed monster of Chambers, Gebhardt, and Jacobson. You can argue that the two-headed monster of Beloit is just as good as the big two there. You got Brody Litton on the offensive and defensive line that can do everything. The New Mexico State commit. You also have Joel Rexrod, who just runs wild. I mean, his numbers are eye-popping. And here's the interesting thing. It's the freshman quarterback in Truett King, a guy that Beloit coaching staff is super high on. But anytime you throw a freshman against this defense, that's when you're going to see somebody grow. And he's been growing as the season's gone. Mm-hmm. But you got to see, at some point, if you're going to beat a team like Southeast, you've got to unleash the reins and see what the freshman can do for you.
Beloit comes in 1-1. They dropped a game by 1 point last week on the road against Concordia. We talked about Southeast and Beloit keeping on their schedule. Beloit and Concordia have done that as well, as they are our old NCKL foes from back in the day when Beloit was in the NCKL, and they have just kind of kept that game. And boy, that was a game of runs. Concordia scored the first couple of touchdowns. They were up 13-0. Then Beloit came storming back, went up 18-13 at halftime. They added another touchdown in the third quarter, went up 26-13. Then Concordia scored the last 2 touchdowns, including a 2-point conversion at the end of the game with about 1:45 left to win that game by 1 single point. And they send Beloit home with a 1-1 record. Concordia also 1-1 after that game. Concordia tonight is in Abilene, as we will keep an eye on that game with our Bennington State Bank scoreboard. Southeast of Saline, of course, they come in 2-0 after a big convincing victory in Week 1 against Minneapolis. Last week they beat Clay Center 46-7. They were leading 16-0 at halftime and then just blew that game open with 24 points in the third quarter. Grady Gebhardt had 30 yards rushing at halftime. Mr. Gebhardt ends up in this game 15 carries, 216 yards, 4 touchdowns on the ground. He had an 81-yard touchdown run. He also had a reception for a touchdown as Gannon Jacobson hit 6 different receivers in that game. He again engineered a passing attack that went 12 of 19, 189 yards, a touchdown, and no interceptions for the second straight game. Southeast of Saline wins the turnover battle as they were able to get a turnover from Clay Center. They did not turn the ball over themselves. They have not committed a turnover yet this year, just going into Week 3. But Mitch Gebhardt likes that. Right now the turnover differential is at a +3. He likes that. He wants to keep building on that. And that was really kind of the ironic thing about this team last year, Tyler, was what they were able to do in outscoring people and winning a state title. They didn't get a lot of turnovers last year. He's excited what this team can be if they start turning the other team over.
Well, not only that, but then you had a junior quarterback in Gannon Jacobson. I mean, we saw what he did, all state honors, everything, but he started off pretty slow. Mm-hmm. A lot of interceptions early, and then everything just kind of slowed down for him, and he started to trust the system. That's what's going to happen anytime you have a first-year signal caller. He's no longer a first-year guy. He's a 2-year guy. He knows the system. I think his play at free safety helps him out just as much as anything, behind the center, just seeing defenses as a quarterback. He knows what's going on. He's ready to go. He reads things. He makes great decisions.
Brody Chambers, Gannon Jacobson, Grady Gebhardt out being captains right now for Southeast of Saline. And it's funny you mentioned that, too, because Mitch Gebhardt told me that in pregame. He said, last year we're having the conversation about Gannon that maybe he was forcing a few things. Maybe he's not seeing this or that. He said there's no conversations about that. He said everything is just kind of moving in slow motion for him. He's doing what he needs to do, like running downfield, taking 12 yards, getting the first down, then stepping out of bounds. Things like that. It's just, he said the maturity of him just from last year to this year, Week 2 to Week 3 this year, he said, man, it's just one of those things. And, of course, health is a lot of it, too. Beloit comes into this game. They're banged up front. They're missing 2 starters on that offensive line. One of them a starter from last year as a freshman. No, he's not playing tonight, so we'll have to keep an eye on how they protect their freshman quarterback up front. They will go with a senior in Brody Litton, who just got crowned homecoming king, by the way. Then they'll go with a couple of sophomores and then a couple of juniors in front of that freshman Truett King. And Beloit scheduled to get the football here to start as we are ready for Southeast of Saline and Beloit football. It's the renewal of the Trojan War here on KINA. Also live stream video on SalinaPost.com, brought to you by Salina Ortho. Waiting on the official to get a game ball and get the placement of everything he wants to do here.
It's new turf, new carpet.
Yeah.
It's like a new living room. You don't really know where to place everything yet. We're still kind of learning on the fly.
Should I wear
I think we got it sorted.
Yeah, should I wear my shoes? Should I not wear my shoes? Malachi Hopkins with his hand in the air. He will have Joel Fuller back deep to receive the kick. It won't make it to Fuller, though. It'll end up with Paxton Fouts. Fouts tucks the football in his right hand. He's going to come to the 25-yard line, and he is stonewalled there as he is brought down. And Beloit will start out here at their own 24-yard line. Truett King is the freshman quarterback. He's 6'5", 180 pounds on the season so far. About half of his passes have been completed for 304 yards. He also has 9 carries, 35 yards. He has 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, averaging in the air about 152 yards per game. It's Albert, Adolph, Westling, Nicholson, Litton in front of him. Again, they're missing Cross Kimmerer, a sophomore, 270-pounder. That is hurt for this. And they're also missing Griffin Johnson, a sophomore who started last year as a freshman. Sweep to the right-hand side. This is going to be Joel Rexroth. It's going to break off a couple of yards for Beloit. Get out past the 25-yard line just barely on a gain of 3.
Yeah, and it was the pursuit by Swank that just continued to follow right there. Anytime your down linemen are making plays on sweeps, that's a great deal for if you're Southeast Saline, because that means your linebackers are getting cleaned.
Gain of 2 actually on that one by Rexroth. Rexroth will stay to the left hip of the quarterback, Truett King. He'll hand it off. Sweep to the left-hand side, and Malachi Hopkins makes the tackle in there for Southeast of Saline, and that'll bring up a 3rd down for Beloit after a gain there on the jet sweep by Jacob Hand that was able to get almost 2 yards.
And Devin, it's interesting. It looks like, I know we've only seen 2 plays, but this Beloit offense is looking very southeastish right now. It looks like they're trying to spread the game out, trying to do things a little bit different. We haven't seen this style of offense from Beloit in years past.
From the 27-yard line, 3rd down and 6. King back to pass in the pocket. He's going to lead. Flush out to the right. Has a receiver, but it's through the hands and dropped. In there on coverage for Southeast of Saline is a welcome return to the defense after not playing defense a week ago. Tiernan Potachik with a big hit.
Devin, you're exactly right. I mean, everything went for Truett King and the Beloit offense exactly how you wanted. Had a wide open receiver, but the contact from Potachik drives the ball loose, drives it free. All of a sudden, it's a 4th and 6 for Beloit. Great defensive play from Potachik.
Jacobson, Hopkins will be back deep. They're standing on the other side of midfield at about their own 40-yard line. Now retreating a little bit more again. Really no wind to speak of here as we wait on the punt from Hayden Nicholson. Nicholson takes a low snap. He drops it back at the 13-yard line, but he gets it away. There was pressure there from Lyric Lilly, and now the ball will roll after he was able to get that away. That was a great play by Hayden Nicholson to get that punt away, and that ball's going to roll dead at the 33-yard line, and that's where we're going to see Southeast of Saline's offense for the first time. Cue up Gannon Jacobson, the senior quarterback. So far this season, 6 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. He's averaging 33 rushing yards per game along with his passing. In front of him, Tristan Swank, Drew Weller, Eli Jennings, Brody Chambers, Garrett Kuhn. The skill players, Kenyon Douglas, Caden Berrigan, Bryson Lippold, Malachi Hopkins, and Grady Gebhardt at tailback. Gebhardt will start out directly behind Gannon Jacobson, Southeast of Saline, wearing their all-white jerseys. 1st down and 10, give to Gebhardt. Counter play comes out right-hand side to the 40, 45, down the sideline. Big contact there with the defensive back, Joel Fuller, who came up from a safety spot, and they're going to run Gebhardt out of bounds after a 17-yard gain at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, and they're going, but it was the block from Caden Berrigan on the outside that sprung that for even more yards. Gebhardt had great job. The offensive line did a great job, and Berrigan did a great job just sealing off that cornerback for more yards.
Quick pass, knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Jacobson was looking for a quick out over here to Caden Berrigan, and in there on the play for Beloit, knocking that football down for the Beloit Trojans. Not sure who that was. That might have been Colton Adolph. They had him listed as 41, and he is playing offensive line, so I believe they might have changed his number here to 53. We'll do some research on that. Here's the fake to Gebhardt. Jacobson will keep it off the right-hand side. Big stiff arm. Puts his head down and gets the first down. Out of bounds at the 39. It's an 11-yard gain for Gannon Jacobson.
Yeah, and right there, Jacobson just did a great job on that read. Saw that the D lineman collapsed. Linebacker followed. Great run from Jacobson. And that leads to the passing, right? We talk about, like, when he gets his legs involved, he can do so much with his arm.
Jacobson wants to throw. Out on the edge. It's caught. Gebhardt comes back to the middle. And he's going to be brought down at the 24-yard line. Excuse me, the 29. It's a gain of 9 on that quick little screen.
Devin, great job from Chambers getting out there and creating that block on that outside screen, and it gave Gebhardt the opportunity to bring it inside.
Here's a pass that's high outside on a 2nd and 1. Goes off the fingertips of Kenyon Douglas.
Well, I tell you what, we're going quick.
Yes, we are.
We got to be in shape for this. To call this is how Gebhardt wants to go. He wants to get that offense. He knows we got to get Beloit on their heels, especially when they're short a couple guys. You're going to go.
3rd and 1 from the 30-yard line. Here's Kenyon Douglas in motion. They're going to fake it to him. Go to Gebhardt. It's a straight dive. Gebhardt into second level. Inside the 25. Brought down at the 23. A gain of 7 on that play by Grady Gebhardt and a first down for Southeast of Saline.
And again, it's that window dressing. Like, you have to appreciate, you have to respect that Douglas is coming across in that motion. He hits the ball. He's gone as well. Right there, the call was to Gebhardt up the middle. Great job from the offensive line creating that hole.
Empty backfield, 4 wide receivers on the right-hand side. Jacobson wants to roll that way. He's being chased by 3 Beloit Trojans. Now he's going to throw. Last second before the sideline. Touchdown, Southeast. Kenyon Douglas for the 2nd time this season has a touchdown. Jacobson up in the air, went to him. Looked like Gannon was going to run out of bounds, and then all of a sudden cocked the cannon, and he threw it for a touchdown. Southeast of Saline has it from 23 yards away.
And, Devin, it took him a minute 12. A minute 12 on that drive. You just saw it was pace. It was tempo. They were just rolling. They were going. And the touch from Jacobson's pass right there, that's one of those you see. It was inches away from a fingertip. Great pass and catch from the Trojans.
2-point conversion, Southeast of Saline. Little misdirection. They're going to run it. Sweep right-hand side. Gebhardt looks at a couple of Beloit players as he walks it in on the right-hand side. And Southeast of Saline is out in front early. It's an 8-0 score with 9:26 left to go here in the first quarter. We'll step away for a quick timeout. Back with more Southeast Trojan football here on KINA.
It's 3rd down and 8 for the Trojans. They really need to make the right call here.
During the football game, it's crucial to make the right call. And in real estate, one call can bring a positive outcome from your real estate experience. Whether you're looking for real property, upsizing to make room for the family, downsizing, or acquiring investment property, call Winnell Garrettson at salinahomes.com.
What a call! Touchdown, Trojans!
Buy or sell, call Winnell.
The hours of drills, the pre-dawn workouts, the hundreds of laps. It takes hard work, passion, and drive to do what you love. When you're sidelined by injury, Salina Regional Sports Medicine is just as committed and works just as hard to get you back in the game. Salina Regional Sports Medicine, 785-452-7366. SalinaRegionalSportsMedicine.com.
Hey Trojans fans, this is Angela Gebhardt, proud wife of Southeast Saline head coach Mitch Gebhardt. Just like the Trojans strive for excellence on the field, the Bank of Tesket goes the extra mile to offer top-notch checking accounts that fit your style. Whether you're managing your day-to-day expenses or planning for the future, our checking accounts are easy, convenient, and tailored for you. Plus, with your local roots and friendly service, we're here to support you every step of the way. Go Trojans!
Bank of Tesket, member FDIC.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back here at Beloit Stadium, Devin Haney, Tyler Smith, Nick Gart producing and engineering, along with Chris Cadle back at KINA Studio. Beloit will bring the kickoff out to the 28-yard line after a 67-yard drive for Southeast of Salina. It ended up in a Gannon Jacobson, Kenyon Douglas touchdown connection on a pass. Rex Road in the backfield behind Truett King. They're going to hand it to Joel Rexroth. He will be contacted right at the line of scrimmage in their first for Southeast of Saline, Brody Chambers and Killian Vaughn. Interesting note about Brody. He is the team's leading tackler through the first 2 games. He does not have a TFL yet. He does not have a tackle for loss or a quarterback sack, Tyler.
Well, I think that shows you a lot about the teams that Southeast has played this year, right? A lot of them aren't going to drop back. You didn't see Clay Center do much of that. There was 0 pass game to speak of at all, but that's when Brody's going to get really dirty, is when you see teams start dropping back and trying to throw the ball around the field.
2nd down and 9 from the 24. 29. Keep wanting to push him back to the 24 for some reason. Now a flag on the play, as we have procedure on Beloit, so that will push him back to the 24. Did I see that? Did I see the future right there? Did I?
You also predicted the weather. Like, there's a lot going on tonight.
I've been through a lot today.
I'm going to keep it quiet.
So 5-yard penalty, 2nd down and 14.
David, I just look at this defensive line right now. It's Chambers, it's Swank, it's Weller. I mean, you look at the size, and the size isn't their strength. It's their athleticism. That's what makes this defense so incredibly difficult to handle.
A duo you defensive starters brought to you by Salina Fence Company. We'll do that here after the 2nd down play. Fake pitch out. King takes a hit as Weller gets to him. Pass incomplete, and it will be 3rd and 14. 0 of 2 passing. Up front for Southeast of Saline, here's your defensive starters brought to you by Salina Fence Company. Bryson Lippold, Drew Weller, Tristan Swank, Brody Chambers. On the corners, Caden Berrigan, Malachi Hopkins. Your safety is Gannon Jacobson. Tierden Patachik will rotate in as well. Your linebacking core, Amarion Hollab, Killian Vaughn, Grady Gebhart, Canyon Douglas. There's your Southeast of Saline Trojan defensive starters brought to you by Salina Fence Company. 3rd down, 14 for Beloit. Look at Bryson Lippold out here on the edge playing coverage corner. King wants to throw. Now he's going to flush back in the corner of the pocket. Grady Gebhart brings him down. Truett King got back to the line of scrimmage, will gain a half a yard, but Grady Gebhart there to make the arrest and bring up a 4th and long.
When you just talked about Chambers and his lack of TFL so far this season, right there, he was on his way to get one, but that offensive lineman had to stay with Brody, and that's what led Gebhart to a wide open lane to get King. That's just a great team defensive play right there for a limited gain from Beloit.
It's almost Chris Jones-ish, right, for the Chiefs?
It is.
You spend so much time double teaming Brody Chambers, somebody else is going to get to you on this Southeast defense. King comes over to the sideline. He's being talked to by one of his teammates over here, as it has been a rough go for him here so far. Here's the punt, up in the air by Hayden Nicholson. Hopkins wants to take it at the 34, angling left-hand side to the 40, gets a block from Jacobson. Jacobson still with him across midfield at the 50, to the Beloit 40, cuts it back inside 30, still on his feet to the 20. Hit again, he's going to pile his way into the 16-yard line. Malachi Hopkins with a big play, all the way down to the 16.
I'll tell you right now, you know what a leader is? It's when your starting quarterback delivers a block like that on a punt return. Great return from Hopkins. Great just return team offense. Immediately as Southeast got the football, they turned into offense. But Gannon Jacobson just delivered a blow right there. You're not going to see many starting quarterbacks do that.
Southeast does not have a special team score in the first 2 weeks. They nearly got one there. They will start out with a short field already in the Case IH red zone at the 16-yard line, brought to you by Can-Equip in Solomon. Pitch out right-hand side. Gebhart has 2 Beloit players he has to take on. He will get back to the line of scrimmage and a flag in the middle of the field that we will check.
Yeah, and immediately, when you see the hands like Garrett Kuhn's giving right now, it looks like a hold. I mean, immediately when that flag came out, Kuhn's hands went up. That's usually a telltale sign of a holding call right there, and it looks like Southeast is going to get moved back.
You call that guilty by denial?
Yes, without a doubt. We've all done it.
26-yard line on the 10-yard penalty as Southeast of Saline takes it backwards here. And a 1st down and 20. Southeast wearing their all-white unis. They'll come to the line of scrimmage. Lippold is an extra blocker behind the right-hand side of that offensive line. They're going to fake it to Gebhart. Screen out to Hopkins. He gets a block down the left-hand sideline. Look at Malachi and his running all the way down to the 10. Malachi Hopkins all the way down to the 10-yard line, and they're going to throw a flag on that initial block out there on the edge right at the line of scrimmage. Wow.
Yeah, and it's one of those tough ones, right? We're seeing the arm strength from Jacobson to be able to get that ball out quickly. Don't know if he has the laces or not. As soon as he gets that snap, firing the ball out there. Looks like they had numbers. Unfortunate call against Southeast right there.
So this will be another 10-yard penalty on Southeast of Saline as they keep the reverse lights on. Now they're going back to the 36-yard line. It will remain first down. First down and 30 now. Here's the snap. Jacobson wants to pass. Has to get around a Beloit Trojan. He's going to rise up, throw on the run. Has Caden Berrigan at the 25. KB's going to fight his way to the 24, and he's going to gain 12.
Devin, the pass and catch was fantastic from Southeast, but it's that offensive line just giving Jacobson time. I mean, he continue if he sits there and is comfortable, he can pick apart this Beloit defense any single day, and that's all because of the big hogs up front.
Just his ability to throw on the run and to see everything while he's running as well. That was as pretty of a quarterback play as you're going to see. 3 receivers, left-hand side. They'll go to the pistol. Gebhardt directly behind Jacobson. They'll fake it to him. Grady's going to knock down a blitzer. Jacobson gets out on the left-hand side this time, and he's going to be ran out of bounds, reaching forward for a gain of 2 on the play. That will bring up third down and about 16.
And again, that was one of those designed runs, but again, I think we saw the maturation there of Jacobson. Instead of trying to do something silly, trying to, cut that ball up, we'll take it, we'll live for third down. You're in 4-down territory right now. You know that. So you're just going to live and die. You got third down right here. You know you have a fourth down if you don't convert here. Just take a deep breath. Trust the system.
Amarion Hollub now out on the right-hand side. He is the middle of 3 receivers. Hopkins a solo to the left. Gebhardt standing on the left hip of Gannon Jacobson. He will more than likely be the protector, or we could see that screen that has been so dangerous in the first 2 weeks. 3rd and 16. Fake to Gebhardt. Slant play. Knocked down over the middle. Boy, Beloit, they are big. They got some tall guys inside. And again, that's 53, who we do not have on any of our rosters. I am guessing it is Colton Adolph, who is 6'1".
And we're just going to go with Adolph. That was a great play.
Yeah.
Great play call. Right there, you had everything you wanted if you're Coach Mitch Gebhardt. You had Hopkins isolated one-on-one, had the slant, but just a great play from Beloit to knock that football down.
So now 4th down for Southeast of Saline. 4th and 16 from the 22. Jacobson, pocket breaks down. He's going to flush out to the left. Looking to throw maybe, and he's going to run it out of bounds. Ran out of room, ran out of time. He's going to break it back to the original line of scrimmage at the 16, but it's going to be a turnover on downs after a gain of 6.
Yeah, and that's one of those I think Gannon wants back. I think as soon as he went out of bounds, we saw him kind of throw the ball up. That's when it hit that it was 4th down. That's one of those, if you turn the ball over the end zone, no big deal. You don't lose anything. Throw it up, give your guy a shot, have him make a chance. Let's see. I mean, but again, that's why he's been so successful this year. He hasn't taken those chances, but go ahead and do it tonight.
And that's the safe play, right? You have an 8-point lead. You got to remember, there's Joel Rexroth back there playing safety. You don't want him to get a pick because you may not catch him. First down for Beloit from the 16. King will throw, but his receiver Fuller fell down over on the far side, the right-hand side of that Beloit offense, and another incomplete pass as Truett King has started out here 0-3 against this Southeast of Saline defense.
Yeah, I like Truett King, though. I mean, from here, he's got the makings to be a big-time guy. Again, only a freshman, never an easy opportunity when you're playing Friday nights, especially against a defense like Southeast Saline. But this Truett King kid, earmark his name because he's going to be somebody that's going to make a lot of noise as he continues to grow.
Just inside 5 minutes left to go here, first quarter. We are in Beloit, breaking in a brand-new turf field here that the Beloit Trojans have installed. First game on this field. Southeast leads it 8-0. Second down and 10. Shifting defensive line for Southeast of Saline. They bunch towards the middle. Rexroth wants to run that way. He has to jump around traffic. He gets to the second level and then is taken down by Kenyon Douglas, who came from his outside backer spot. Rexroth got to the 22-yard line, and it will be a gain of 6.
Just a great vision from Rexroth to get 6 right there because Southeast Saline, they just collapsed in the middle. It looked like maybe a middle pinch, and all of a sudden you saw the backers coming in, but Rexroth, great vision, little jump step, little hop skip, got himself some positive yardage.
Out to the 21. Third down and 5.
But you're exactly right with Rexroth. I mean, he's not exactly like Gebhardt, but anytime those two touch the football, it doesn't matter where they are, what the down and distance is, they can house it, and this kid's extremely dangerous.
Beloit has not broken the 30-yard line yet. Here's the football at the 22. They try to run it, piled up, and a big scrum. They never take Rexroth down in all those bodies, but they do stymie his forward progress. Last person it looked like to have custody of him across the middle was Elijah Kerr. Boy, he's been playing a lot and playing well lately.
And again, that's just the reps we've seen them have over the first 2 weeks. We talked about how the weather's been nice. You haven't had to make a lot of substitutions, but you've seen Coach Gebhardt just continue to get people in and out and make some plays happen. It looks like Beloit's Southeast isn't going to respect the punt. They're going to expect something silly right here.
They are. They're going to be prepared for it. The Hayden Nicholson punt formation is out there on a 4th and 2. High snap. Nicholson has to jump for it this time. That snap has been an adventure so far here in this first quarter, and a fair catch by Jacobson. He will take a knee and the custody of the ball at the 48. So once again, good field position here for Southeast of Saline. They start at midfield. Southeast of Saline has not started a drive yet inside of their 30-yard line. Beloit has not made it outside of their own 30-yard line. That's kind of where we're at right now in this game of field possession that just has one score.
And that goes back to exactly what you were talking about with Jacobson's last play and the last possession that Southeast had. When you know you have the defense that you have, you don't have to force things. You just rely on them, you trust them, and you let them work to get yourself the football back with minimal damage.
1st and 10 for Southeast of Saline from their own 48-yard line. Here's drive number 3 of the first quarter. Jacobson turns, gives it to Gebhardt straight up the gut. He's going to be cut at the knees, and then 2 Beloit Trojans jump on top of him as they're going to dogpile him across the 50-yard line to the Beloit 47-yard line. Gain of 5 by Grady Gebhardt.
Yeah, just a good hard-nosed run. Beloit, not horrible defense right there, but just Southeast won that battle in the trenches.
Tight formation here. Southeast ready to go on a 2nd and 4. Here's Gebhardt angling left, close to the first down. He should have it, and a first down for Southeast of Saline. Another gain of 5 for Grady on that play. Just 4 carries so far for Grady. He has 34 yards.
And we see right there, a lot of times when we see Southeast bunch up and get tight, we see the ball go to the perimeter, but right there, tight offensive formation, ball went right to the teeth of it.
From the 43, Gebhardt again. They spotted him short, so they're going to go back to the dive off the right-hand side this time as they're running right behind Brody Chambers, and Brody's going to clear the way and make sure they get that first down. Excuse me, Brody wasn't even in the game right there. Actually in the game, they ran behind Drew Weller, it looks like that time. May have even got in behind Garrett Kuhn, who's at right tackle. So a first down for Southeast of Saline. Football flirting with the 40-yard line. Jacobson back to pass. Over the middle. Checked about 3 receivers. Came to the third one in Canyon Douglas. And he's going to have a gain of 11. Boy, that was good patience and field vision by Gannon Jacobson.
Yeah, went through all 3 progressions, right? Went right side, left side, then came back right back in the middle. And not a horrible spot to go. When you know Douglas is going to be in a spot, he's going to be in that spot. Sure-handed reception right there. Good for a Southeast first down.
First down for the visiting Trojans wearing white and purple. Football sitting at the 29-yard line in Beloit territory. High snap. He dings it down off the crown of his helmet, gives it to Gebhardt. Grady sidestepping black jerseys, makes his way inside the 20 and will be brought down at the 19-yard line. Gain of 10 that time by Grady Gebhardt.
And again, you're seeing a lot of hats on hats, and you're even seeing you're seeing Adam Teal is out there. We haven't called his name a lot this season, but Adam Teal's on that left side continues to push that cornerback back. Anytime you're getting buy-in from those receivers that continue to lock their blocks in, that's when you see huge runs, and Teal right there won that battle.
And again, they spot him just short of the first down mark. It's not going to matter, though. This time, Grady into the second level, and he's all the way down to the 5. They're going to say the 4. It's a gain of 16 for Double G as he makes it down inside the red zone, inside of the 5-yard line. And once again, Southeast of Saline in the Can-Equip Case IH red zone.
And here's where things get fun, right? We got trips to the right, and this is where the whole playbook is open. Let's see what Coach Gebhardt has dialed up for his boys.
Nearing the end of the first quarter. Here's a motion play. Douglas, they fake it to him. Gebhardt's going to walk this one in. A big, gaping hole that Grady Gebhardt did not even get touched going through, and a touchdown of 4 yards.
And again, my favorite touchdown celebration I've ever seen is from Grady Gebhardt and Barry Sanders. As soon as he scores, that ball goes right to the official. He goes up. I'm sure he's telling his offensive lineman, great job. Just another great drive from Southeast of Saline.
2-point conversion pending here on Southeast of Saline's second touchdown of the night. Loaded up on the right-hand side. Jacobson, couple of fakes, still has the ball. He's fading back, throws it to the back of the end zone. Caden Berrigan went up for it, but he was out of bounds out of the back of the end zone, and that is incomplete. Nonetheless, with 1:05 left to go, Southeast of Saline has a lead. They have built this lead now to 14-0. We'll see Beloit receive the kick when we come back. It's Trojan football, and it's presented by Salina Ortho.
Whether on the field, court, or in the operating room, experience matters. A coach loves an experienced team just like a patient values an experienced doctor. Salina Ortho has ABOS board-certified physicians with over 40 years of orthopedic service. If you need help staying active or just want to discuss options regarding the newest techniques and services and specialties that Salina Ortho provides, see one of our trusted physicians or visit salinaortho.com. Salina Ortho, your voice, your choice, past, present, and future.
At Maury Clinic Sports Medicine, we are available when you need us most. I'm Dr. Andrew Westbrook, and I am the sports medicine physician at Maury Clinic. I see patients of all ages and help them come back stronger than ever. From broken bones to joint pain, my team and I are committed to help you do more. For those with sports injuries, come see us at our sports medicine walk-in clinic Monday and Thursday mornings from 8 to 9 a.m. Prevent, recover, and strengthen so you can perform your best. Maury Clinic Sports Medicine. Make your move with confidence.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Just about ready for the Southeast of Saline kickoff. We'll have the scoring recap for you after Malachi Hopkins puts this one in the air. His foot into it. A powerful kick that'll land inside the 10-yard line at the 7. Joel Fuller has it. Angles out to the 20, 25, 30. Look out, Fuller. Putting the football in his left hand. Looks for another crease at midfield and brought down at the 50-yard line. Southeast of Saline scrambled to make that tackle. Fuller was out on it. It was Malachi Hopkins with a little bit of help there from his friends, able to make that tackle. Southeast of Saline's last drive went 52 yards. They scored with 1:05 left in the first quarter. It was a Grady Gebhardt 3-yard touchdown run for Grady now on the season on the ground. That is his 7th rushing touchdown. That scoring recap brought to you by Dr. Andrew Westbrook. At Maury Clinic Sports Medicine, visit Dr. Westbrook at a sports injury walk-in clinic every Monday and Thursday mornings for your activity or sports nagging injuries.
And Devin, that's the breath of fresh air that Beloit needed right there. Let's see if they can do something right here. Fuller, the junior, great return to get the ball to midfield.
Into first quarter, here's movement by Beloit on the left-hand side of that line. We mentioned they're plugging some holes right now on that line without Krimmer and Johnson playing tonight.
And it looked like it was 56 Hayden Nicholson with that false start. And again, it's one of those things, especially, anytime you're playing Nicholson, only a sophomore. After a big play, there's a lot of excitement, right? You're amped up to go out there. You're ready to go. But you got to listen to the snap count, make sure the ball is snapped. It's a big penalty after a huge momentum play from Beloit.
First down and 15 now. Beloit will back it up 5 yards to their own 45-yard line. 54 seconds left to go. First quarter, 14-0, Southeast of Saline. Two receivers out to the right-hand side. There are two tight receivers on the left-hand side. They're going to give it to Rexroth. Joel will battle his way back through. That extra 5 yards they have to get through, he'll knock 3 of it off on his first carry. So far, 5 carries, 14 yards for Joel Rexroth. All-state honors at running back as a junior 1 year ago. Also a heck of a wrestler.
It usually goes hand in hand at Beloit, right? You're going to do one thing, you're probably going to wrestle it. You're just good at everything at Beloit. Very similar to being at Southeast.
Second down. They're going to say you only got a yard on that one, Tyler. Nope, they're going to say 2.
And Devin, on that tackle again was Josh Watkins, and that's a name that we said a lot last week. And again, every time, he just continues to find more and more snaps, playing time because of what he's doing defensively.
The only Southeast defender coming into this game that had a quarterback sack, by the way. Here's Rexroth. He's breaking out of the second level, and they have to arrest him at the last minute. Tiernan Potacek came in to get him at the 37-yard line after he crossed midfield. That was a big carry, 16 yards by Joel Rexroth.
Gosh, and that's exactly what Rexroth can do, right? Any play he can take to the house. A shoestring tackle or Potacek saves a touchdown. It's a great job from Southeast just to minimize that gain.
That carry will bring us to the end of the first quarter. 14-0 is our score. Southeast of Saline. Out in front, you're listening to Trojan Football on KINA and live stream video on SalinaPost.com paired with the radio broadcast presented by Salina Ortho.
In the trenches and on the ground, that's where the game is won. Isaacson Truck Line is a proud supporter of the Southeast of Saline Trojans. For local and long-haul service of freight and livestock, call Isaacson Truck Line, reminding you to have a safe Friday night on the roads. Wreak havoc, Trojans.
Obituaries and funeral announcements are available free of charge on the post. This community service is provided in part by Higher Scott Mortuary and Cremations, formerly Roselawn. Higher Scott Mortuary and Cremations, celebrating life, embracing legacy.
Hey, it's Sarah.
And Addison. And Colby.
Back to school has arrived, and that means getting back into a regular routine of school events, parent-teacher conferences,
homework, and sports.
Merry Maids can help you get the house ready for a busy back-to-school season. Whether you want a heavy cleaning or just a touch-up, Merry Maids can complete the service you want on your time schedule. Call Merry Maids in Salina and Abilene to schedule your house cleaning today.
Merry Maids, relax, it's done.
Find Merry Maids on Facebook or at merrymaids.com.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Quickly back to action, a pass out here on the right-hand side by Truett King. He has his first completion of the night and nearly a broken tackle for a touchdown that time out here on the edge, Tyler.
Yeah, Kanan Olsen right there. Good reception. Almost housed that again. But here's where you rely on your defense. If you eliminate huge plays, you give your defense another opportunity, and that's what Southeast did right there.
To the 27-yard line, it was a gain of 11. First down, Beloit. Back to Rexroth. Right through the middle. Brody Chambers grabbed him from behind. Also Grady Gebhardt in there as well. Killian Vaughn in there. And another tackler in there as well. Looks like it was Tristan Swank. Gain of 2 for Rexroth.
Yeah, you're just going to continue to say those three names over and over if they're doing their job. They just continue to collapse on that inside run. Backers come free. That's exactly what you want to do defensively for Southeast. But that also, if you're collapsing, you're making that difficult run game in the inside, it means your outside backers could work in case Rexroth wants to bounce it outside.
Cale Lenners has been quiet tonight. He's one of the returning receivers. He splits out wide to the left-hand side. They have two guys to the short side of the field, near side. Truett King, little pump fake. Might have wanted to go deep. Now he's going to run. Inside the 20, he's going to be hit there and dropped by Grady Gebhardt, who came over in pursuit. Grady dropped off into coverage, it looked like, momentarily, and then came back to the middle of the field. Perhaps maybe that's why Truett King saw the opening. He's going to take it inside of the 20-yard line where it's 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, it's a pretty grown-up play from the freshman quarterback right there. Drops, sees that there's good coverage from Southeast, decides to tuck the ball, get as many yards as he can. And against most defenses, he'll still be running right there, but not with Grady Gebhardt. Grady Gebhardt saw that, like you said, dropped off in coverage, made a good tackle to create this 3rd down opportunity.
To the 19-yard line, 3rd down and 3 for Beloit. 3 wide receivers, 2 of them to the left. Rexroth in the pistol formation. They're going to go to Joel Rexroth. A little counter outside, bounced it to the left, and he is going to be just short of that 1st down stick. It's going to be 4th and short for Beloit. And he did not get a great spot. It looked like his knee was down about a yard early. I thought it was going to be 4th and inches. They're going to say it's 4th and 1. A solid yard.
And, Evan, this is where Rexroth's extremely dangerous. We know that you have to collapse the middle right here. We just got done talking about that. Here's where that perimeter run game could help Beloit if they can get somebody in motion.
Big down here. See if Southeast of Saline can stand up. 4th and a solid yard for Beloit. They're inside of the red zone, and looks like Beloit will take a timeout. We will take a timeout as well as we step aside. Southeast of Saline football here on KINA.
Summer travel can damage and destroy your tires. Commercial Tire Centers encourages you to check for proper inflation. Underinflation or overinflation, along with the extreme Kansas heat, can cause a blowout, damage to your vehicle, and even cause accidents. Make sure your passenger car, truck, RV, and trailer tires are all ready to hit the road when you visit Commercial Tire. We'll even check your spare tire. Commercial Tire Centers, West Crawford and North 9th in Salina.
Commercial Tire Centers, where service is everything.
Hey, it's Sarah.
And Addison. And Colby.
Back to school has arrived, and that means getting back into a regular routine of school events, parent-teacher conferences,
homework, and sports.
Merry Maids can help you get the house ready for a busy back-to-school season. Whether you want a heavy cleaning or just a touch-up, Merry Maids can complete the service you want on your time schedule. Call Merry Maids in Salina and Abilene to schedule your house cleaning today.
Merry Maids, relax, it's done.
Find Merry Maids on Facebook or at merrymaids.com.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Out of the timeout, Beloit with a 4th and 1 inside of the red zone at the 17-yard line. Shotgun formation, Rex Rope directly behind the quarterback. They're going to go to Rex Rope. He tries it to the left, and there's going to be flag on the play. Joel Rexroth did not get there. Now we'll have to check the flag. The flag came from the back judge at the linebacker level of the defense. No gain on the play. If this is on Beloit, it's a turnover on downs. And they're going to say, bad block on Beloit. A crackback block, I believe, Tyler, was the call there on Beloit, and it's going to be a turnover on downs. Southeast will take over and give it up for that Southeast of Saline defense. That's a big, big stop brought to you by Salina Fence Company.
Well, and you don't blame Coach Gober for that call right there. And that's exactly, you want Rexrow with the ball. You want to trust your offensive linemen. You want to follow them. That's maybe a play like in the next couple of years with King just developing, only a freshman right now. But I always want to give that quarterback an opportunity to maybe read that and get to the outside edge. But just right now with the freshman only in his third start, Gober didn't have that trust. It's a huge stop from Southeast Saline.
So Beloit turns it over on down. Southeast out now, their offense with a 14-0 lead. Here's Gebhardt, bounces it outside, look out, to the 25, 30, 35, still on his feet, 40, still spinning in traffic and makes it to the 43-yard line. Grady Gebhardt out of the crowd, able to get that one all the way out to the 43-yard line.
And Devin, it's again, every yard he gets after contact is just, it's unreal. I mean, he was carrying guys, spinning with guys, arms all over him. Great blocking from Teal on the outside yet again. It's a huge pickup from Southeast.
Gain of 26. Come back the other way. Douglas looking for some space, and he's going to be dropped at the line of scrimmage. Maybe got a football out of it, but no more.
Yeah, right there. Great play design. Gebhardt missed a big block right there on the perimeter. If Gebhardt gets his head on the outside, it's going to give Douglas more space right there. Just whiffs on the block. Tough play, especially after the run he just had on the previous play.
Knows the football at the 44. Here's Jacobson. Rolls out to the right-hand side, being chased. He's going to go to Gebhardt, middle of the field. They go across the 50-yard line. Grady brought down after the first down sticks at the 45. Another beautiful gain for Southeast of Saline. That one broke off 11 yards.
And everything's so clean and crisp right now for Southeast. And again, they're looking to go. They're looking to get the chain set up, and they're looking for the play call immediately. Keep this Beloit defense just exhausted.
Second reception by Gebhardt so far in this game. That one went from 44 to 44 on the other side of the field. First down and 10. Jacobson looks left. Now he's going to put his foot in the ground. He's going to take off and run in the linebacker level. 35, spinning down to the 31, and now a flag on the play. They're going to punish Brody Chambers for taking a Beloit player down the field and blocking too well.
Devin, I had the opportunity to referee their jamboree, and I watched Brody multiple drives, and it would be defensive linemen just begging for him to stop blocking. He says, I'm not going to stop blocking until the whistle's blown, and I think that's what we saw right there. That's a great job from Brody Chambers. We continue to see that from him game in and game out.
Mitch Gebhardt not happy about it. He was out 5 yards on the field with his headset off, asking for an explanation. Not sure he got one that he's happy with. He's still stalking that sideline over there.
And that's a play that Brody Chambers will on huddle, he will definitely highlight because he did everything correct.
First down and 9. Here's a high throw over to Caden Berrigan over on the right-hand edge.
You know what, at the end of the day, it's just something you move on. Now you have a second down opportunity, and just see what you can work, all right? I mean, we've seen the Southeast team, we don't like the call, okay? But now you just go back to work and do the exact same thing again.
Jacobson had 11 yards on that carry. And that's the thing. I mean, it's not a block in the back. It's not a block under the way. He was blocking. How do you know that Gannon Jacobson's not directly behind you? You don't. You just keep doing your job, right? Here's Gebhardt now, sprinting to the out-hand side. There's nobody on the right-hand side except for Joel Fuller, who runs him down. Grady's going to take him on and then cut back inside and make it to the 30-yard line. Another great run by Grady Gebhardt. This one goes for a baker's dozen, and unofficially right now, Grady over 100 yards.
Well, and what I'm most impressed with is you see 51, you see Drew Weller out there still leading the way. He's the first offensive lineman to pick Gebhardt up. And anytime you have an offensive lineman getting to that level, that means you're doing your job.
First and 10, SES at the 30-yard line in Beloit territory. Gebhardt on the left-hand side. They're going to fake it to him. Jacobson comes through again. Gannon backpedaling. Now he's going to be brought down and still moving the pile somehow down to the 22-yard line. Wow, that pile just looked like it was on ice, just kept sliding as Gebhardt and it looks like Brody Litton just kept moving towards the Southeast of Saline goal line. Ends up being a gain of 9 on first down.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, I thought thought Gannon was down. The line just kept moving and moving and moving. There's no end to his fight.
From the 23, Jacobson, pump fake, now wants to go deep, wants it all. A contested coverage in the back of the end zone. Caden Berrigan cannot come up with it, and that is great coverage by Beloit back there down that right-hand sideline.
Yeah, Jace Darnell right there at the corner. He bit, but he did a great job recovering, didn't give up much space. That's when you tip your cap, Darnell. That's a great play right there on an island.
5 for 9 passing the football for Gannon Jacobson here in this game, has a touchdown. That one went to Kenyon Douglas, his second reception for a score so far this year. 3rd down and 3 for Southeast of Saline. Football sitting at the 23-yard line. They need to crack the 20 to get a first down. Here's Gebhardt, straight up the gut. Kind of sidesteps a couple of times, once to the right, once to the left, and he will waltz his way inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. A gain of 4. And another first down as Southeast of Saline once again moves in to the Case IH Red Zone, brought to you by Canaclip and Solomon.
And Devin, there's something about these drives that as a head ball coach, you love your Coach Gebhardt. Like we saw so many fast drives against Clay Center in Minneapolis, but when you can just shove it down a team's throat and just continue to get that ball down the field, you love it.
Douglas in motion, they fake it to him, now they slip the screen. Here's Gebhardt, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Gebhardt may have had a stiff arm inside the 5-yard line that eliminated a Beloit tackler, and Grady Gebhardt, for the 3rd consecutive week, scores on the screenplay. That was beautifully set up by the Southeast offense.
And Devin, they continue to they dial the right number. That screenplay just seems to always magically work because you have to, as a defense, you have to pursue. You have to come hard or else you're not going to be able to stop Grady Gebhardt or make any puncture in this offensive line. So when you come hard, it's very easy. The offensive line gives you a little olay, and then all of a sudden you have a wall protecting you to the end zone.
4th receiving touchdown for Grady Gebhardt on the season. Southeast is going to go for 2. They're going to fake it to Douglas. Jacobson trying to keep it, has his nose down, reaching for the goal line, and they're going to say he is short. But another 6 points here for Southeast of Saline. 2 touchdown passes for Gannon Jacobson. And Southeast of Saline has taken a 20-0 lead with 6:38 left to go in the second quarter. We'll step away for a 30 when we come back. More Trojan football here on KINA.
APAC Kansas Incorporated has been building the Heartland from the ground up for over a century. From the supply of aggregate materials, hot mix asphalt, and concrete to the construction of roads and bridges, we do it all. You've seen our trucks, and now we want to hire you. APAC in Salina is growing, and we are hiring for all positions. From truck drivers to mechanics, general laborers, and construction, APAC has your next career. For more details, visit the job links page at salinapost.com. Great pay and benefits. APAC is an equal opportunity employer.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back here in Beloit, Trojan Stadium. Brand new field being broken tonight. The track is in as well. It's not striped yet. It's kind of a good look. I like it. It's kind of got the black track around the field here. It fits their school colors. Southeast of Saline off to a good start as Grady Gebhardt has scored on a passing touchdown for the 4th time this season. That scoring drive brought to you by Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Maury Clinic Sports Medicine in Salina. Malachi Hopkins has his hand in the air once again as he's ready to go with another Southeast of Saline kick. Back deep, Joel Fuller for for Beloit, but it's going to be taken by Lenners on the left-hand sideline, and now a late flag comes in on that same sideline there that Southeast of Saline has put camp up on for tonight. Coming up at halftime, we'll have comments from Mitch Gebhardt before he goes to the locker room at the break. We will also have scores on the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. We'll also have a conversation with Wade Castleman, a couple big cross-country meets that Southeast of Saline has participated in with bigger schools. They went to Wamego, and they also yesterday ran in Buhler. So get caught up with Coach Castleman and what the Southeast of Saline cross-country runners have been up to. That's brought to you by Winnell Garrettson, coming up on the Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories halftime report.
With the weather lately, I didn't know if they're going to run or swim with everything they had going on in the Buhler-Hutchinson area. It seemed a bit iffy at once. I didn't know if Castleman was going to take some arm floaties to kind of keep himself safe. It looked like another successful outing from his cross-country squads.
Knowing Coach Wade, they were prepared for anything. They were ready to go. Penalty on Beloit there will back them up to the 23-yard line, their own 23, 1st down and 10, as they go heavy on the left-hand side. Here comes a man in motion. They give him the football. This is going to be Lenners, and Lenners will be brought down by Kenyon Douglas. Andrew Weller after a minimal gain of just 1 yard.
Devin, that whole play was made by Caden Berrigan. He continued to keep outside leverage. Whenever there's a ball carrier coming at you and you're that outside leverage, you have two decisions to make. Either you go inside and all of a sudden there's somebody to the outside, or you plant that outside foot. You make sure that ball carrier has to turn it inside, and you trust your defense. Caden Berrigan, that's a headsy move and a big-time move right there to make sure the rest of his Trojans can sweep the play up.
I apologize. That was actually Jacob Hand on that end-around play. He's lined up in the slot right now, right-hand side. Truett King takes the snap back to Joel Rexroad in the middle, and he runs into a brick wall. Holy cow. That Southeast of Saline jersey did not move, getting up off the bottom of the pile for Southeast of Saline that time. Who was that?
It was everyone, but the last one coming up is Chambers. It's Chambers. It's, well, you can just say Chambers, Weller, Swank. I mean, those three continue just to create havoc. And, no, I am incorrect. Elijah Kerr again in that mix as well. I think Kerr delivered that initial blow. He's nasty.
Yeah, he did not move on that one. Here is a pass. Would have been short of the first down more than likely, but just for good measure, it's broken up anyway by Malachi Hopkins. How about the night Malachi's having, huh? Boy, he's had a good return on a special teams play. Had a good reception and run after catch on a play that was brought back because of penalty. Great defensive play there by Malachi Hopkins.
And, Devin, that's just knowing your scouting report. He knew exactly where that Beloit receiver was going to go. Hopkins jumped that pass. Great play. He was only a step away from taking that thing back to the house. That's just a headsy play from Hopkins. And that play was made on Monday, not today. That was made in film session.
So just about 1.5 yards on that drive by Beloit. Back to the punt formation. That punt is going to shank to the right, take a bounce into Caden Berrigan's hands. KB fields it, and then he is brought down on a big hit by Paxson over here on the near side. A high hit about the back of the shoulder pads, and Caden Berrigan gets up after a return that will put Southeast of Saline in Beloit territory at the 45.
No, Devin, you're exactly right. That was a huge hit from Paxton Fouts. However, what KB did right there, gets that ball. He gets you plus 15 yards just by getting a ball that looks like it might just drift away. If you stay away from that football, you're now 15 yards behind, gets that ball, runs into the teeth of that coverage. That's a play. Every single yard counts.
Southeast of Saline with 45 yards in front of them as they start out in Beloit territory. Amarian Hollub in motion. He's going to take the football. Grady Gebhardt lead blocking. Hollub now kicks it up inside. 5 yards. Flag on the play. Spinning his way towards the first down. Still on his feet. Moving his way all the way inside of the 30-yard line. And the flag thrown from hash mark across to the other hash mark at the line of scrimmage.
And I know we're not going to get a number out here. I'm really interested to see who this holding penalty is going to be on. I'll tell you what. Watching the play, Gebhardt makes a great play. His hands are on the outside. You rarely see contact made like that as an outside lead blocker from a running back position where the holding penalty is going to be called. I don't know. Just looking back at maybe some film that we have up here, it looks like, again, it was just another block that, it was too good.
They're going to call it a low block. That's the second time we've seen that call today. One now on Southeast, one on Beloit earlier on that fourth down play that they ran. So Southeast of Saline will take 15 yards back.
And, Devin, I think it's a great time to always say how much we appreciate the officials for being out here. We know it's a difficult job. It's far easier from our vantage point, so we appreciate those guys for giving up their Friday nights to do this so we can have some fun.
So now 60 yards in front of them after starting at the 45 and getting a 15-yard penalty. Still first down. Jacobson rolls out, has Gebhardt at the 45. Grady at the 50. Won't run out of bounds. Gets to the other 45 and an extra 5 yards that will put Southeast of Saline back at the original line of scrimmage. You have 15 yards of penalty yardage. Grady Gebhardt will erase that for you from Gannon Jacobson on the screen.
And, again, that's not trying to do too much. That's exactly what you want to do. You're first and 25. If you can make it second and manageable, which you've just done, you're in business. You're looking to get maybe 10 to 12 yards in that opportunity to be hugely successful. You got 15. Now it's 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 at the 45-yard line back into Beloit territory. Jacobson fakes it to Douglas, and he's going to take it ahead for 5 yards. 3rd and 5 coming up. And Jacobson with another carry, his 6th of the night.
It always turns into a numbers game. First down, you want to get 4. You want to get 3 to 4 yards, and you just start doing the math with a team that doesn't kick a lot, especially when they're, on the other opponent's side of the field, you have 4 downs to play with. You get 3 to 4 a pop. That averages out to a first down, and that's what Southeast wants to continue to do.
Movement up front. Beloit comes across the line. And nothing.
Interesting.
Jacobson just kind of put his hands on his hips and looked at the official like, 3rd and 5, they're going to snap it here. Empty backfield, Gannon to throw, lofts it to Gebhardt, catches it at the 22, cuts it outside. He's going to go all the way to the end zone. A big block by Kenyon Douglas eliminated the only Beloit player that may have had a chance, but Grady Gebhardt, now on 2 consecutive drives, catches a touchdown pass from Gannon Jacobson.
And Devin, it's all verticals, but it's not all verticals like when you're playing Madden football or college football where they all just go in a straight line. You find gaps, you find holes, you run vertical, and you hit that open zone right there. You can't run zone against that. You can't run man. You can't run man-to-man with all those guys running at you. Grady found the soft spot in the zone. Jacobson hits him. Great play call and great execution from the Southeast.
40 yards on the scoring play, 60-yard drive.
I love verts. You run it all day. You can run it all day when you got dudes like that understand the concept.
They're going to direct snap this to Grady Gebhardt. He's going to take it short side of the field on the left-hand side. Spin move, and he gets in. Grady Gebhardt used the spin cycle again. We saw it last week on a long-running play. This time, he needed it just to get across the goal line, and he will cash in the 2-point conversion. Time for another break. 28-0. Southeast of Saline extending that lead here on KINA.
Whether on the field, court, or in the operating room, experience matters. A coach loves an experienced team just like a patient values an experienced doctor. Salina Ortho has ABOS board-certified physicians with over 40 years of orthopedic service. If you need help staying active or just want to discuss options regarding the newest techniques and services and specialties that Salina Ortho provides, see one of our trusted physicians or visit salinaortho.com. Salina Ortho, your voice, your choice, past, present, and future.
At Maury Clinic Sports Medicine, we are available when you need us most. I'm Dr. Andrew Westbrook, and I am the sports medicine physician at Maury Clinic. I see patients of all ages and help them come back stronger than ever. From broken bones to joint pain, my team and I are committed to help you do more. For those with sports injuries, come see us at our sports medicine walk-in clinic Monday and Thursday mornings from 8 to 9 a.m. Prevent, recover, and strengthen so you can perform your best. Maury Clinic Sports Medicine. Make your move with confidence.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Tyler Smith's making his way down to the Salina Ortho sidelines with 3:06 left to go. A 40-yard touchdown score. Gannon Jacobson to Grady Gebhardt. Second time they've hooked up for a touchdown tonight. Here's the kick by Malachi Hopkins, taken by Beloit at the 15-yard line. They're going to return that back almost to the 30 and have another drive start there. So I did confirm, Tyler, it was a 40-yard touchdown screen play that time. Jacobson to Gebhardt. Two-point conversion was also Grady on a 2-point run. 28-0, Southeast of Saline. So looking to close the half strong. It's been a pretty good half here, Tyler, for the visiting Trojans from Southeast.
Yeah, it has, but this is when we've seen more fireworks happen, right? You think 28-0, 3 minutes to go. Let's see what happens in the last 3 minutes of this half, because you know these. You always talk about your first 4 and your last 4. It's always the minutes that you have to win if you're going to be a successful team during these playoff runs.
Joel Rexroth with a minimal carry about 2 yards off the right-hand side. There is a flag on the play, as we will check the penalty flag. Southeast of Saline's defense out there with Beloit starting a drive at the 29-yard line. And the penalty will go against Beloit.
And again, I think it's one of those things that maybe, and I know a lot of listeners are very educated that listen and watch these games, but you're always coaching, right? You're never looking at the score if you're a coach. You're looking, it's 28-0, there's 3 minutes to go. Your goal is to win this last 3 minutes. You always, like I said, you want to win the first 4 and the last 4 of each half. When you do that, you just continue to increase leads. You take momentum away from teams, and you just establish your dominance when you come out. So you'll watch them. They'll want to try to win this last 3 minutes, and then when they come out at halftime, Southeast will win in that next 4 minutes just to absolutely put the nail in this coffin.
9-yard penalty after you take in the 1-yard gain and then the 10-yard penalty. Here's a late substitution by Beloit as they were trotting Paxton onto the field, and they're going to have to burn a timeout, their second timeout of the first half. That'll leave them with one remaining. Southeast of Saline up 28-0 here in this game, as Southeast looks to go to 3-0 before returning home next week. I want to remind you this presentation is brought to you in part by Kansas Bankers Technologies and Technical Consulting, your partners in secure banking technology and seamless IT solutions. Also by the Southeast of Saline Education Foundation, the Shelter Insurance Agency of Kelly Kitchener, Salina Ortho, Mary Maids, Isaacson Truck Line, and Frisbee Construction. Beloit out of the timeout. They have one remaining. Southeast of Saline, all three of theirs remaining. First down and 18 from the 21-yard line for the Beloit Trojans. Three wide receivers to the right-hand side. Killian Vaughn pointing and yelling. Here's the play-action run. Quarterback keeper off the left-hand side out to about the 31-yard line for Truett King. That'll be a gain of 10 on the run. His longest carry of the night.
Yeah, and I think that's something that Truett King's going to have to go more and more to as he progresses if this offense is going to reach their maximum potential. He's athletic. He looks athletic down here, but it's tough for a freshman facing this defense.
And as you said, you touched on it. We haven't talked a lot about it, but this is a Beloit offense that looks a little different, right? They were so big last year, and they lost a couple of those guys to graduation. Also, a couple of those guys out tonight due to injury that they sustained last week against Concordia. But it's just kind of, I thought Joel Rexroth was going to have 70 carries in one of those games last year against Southeast of Saline. And when you miss those big guys up front, man, the running game's just not the same, and all of a sudden you're searching for other things to do. You also have a good group of returning wide receivers if you're Beloit, too, so you evolve a little bit, right?
Without a doubt. And Coach Gober has established a great program here at Beloit, and that's exactly what you have to do. You can't just be you're not recruiting, right? You're given what you're dealt with, and you have to develop your offense around what you have. And again, this is an offense that will gather steam. Right now, just tough sledding.
Quick check of your Bennington State Bank scoreboard. El Saline had a short night tonight. They beat Norwich on the road 54-0. So the Cardinals now 2-1. Second down and 9 here for Beloit. Three wide receivers, right-hand side. King throws it out in the flat to Hand. Jacob Hand now goes backwards. He's going to lose a couple of yards of that progress as he is brought down at the 35-yard line. Kenyon Douglas, Killian Vaughn out there to help Tiernan Potachik on the play. Gain of 6.
Yeah, now, sorry, go ahead, Devin.
Second completion of the night in the passing game. Southeast will take a timeout here, Tyler. We'll keep it right here.
Yeah, it brings up an interesting 3rd and 4, doesn't it? I mean, So here's kind of what you're going to establish, what you're going to do, and what you're kind of going to go, from here on out if you're Coach Gober. Obviously, you have the entire playbook open. You can throw the ball. An incompletion right here absolutely kills you because it'll stop the clock. If you run the ball, it forces Southeast to call another timeout, and all of a sudden they don't have any more timeouts left in the half, and then you kind of play the game out and you see what can happen. But, if you throw an incompletion here, it says a lot to your team that we're going to continue to try to do this. However, given Southeast in their timeout right here, going down in the locker room down 35-0 could or plus could be really tough for Beloit to climb back from.
Each team has one timeout remaining. Southeast has taken the last 2 timeouts to stop the clock here in efforts to get the ball back. Beloit, though, they're not out of this thing yet. They have a 3rd and 4, a very attainable situation here. They're at their own 35-yard line. They need to get to their 39 for a new set of downs with 21.4 seconds left here on the clock. So King will be in the shotgun. He'll have Rexroth to his left hip, standing back at the 30-yard line. One wide receiver to the left, 3 to the right. King's going to keep it. He's going to be chopped down at the waist for no gain on the play. And Southeast will take that last time out and force Beloit here into a punting situation. I'm sorry, 2:07. I just said 21 seconds left to go. You can help me out down there, Tyler. I can't see the scoreboard where I'm at.
Well, what it can help you out with is the defense looks nasty from where we're sitting.
Yeah.
You get down in the field, it is disgusting. I mean, there's no alleys. There's nowhere to run. This defensive line is just creating havoc against Beloit right now.
I told Coach Gebhardt in our pregame conversation, I feel like we're cheating the defense because we don't talk about them enough. And I don't know if we have enough time to talk about them and everything that they're doing individually and as a unit. I mean, they are so fluid right now, and watching, I know that we're taking it for granted.
Without a doubt. And we're talking about a Beloit team that has Brody Linton as a Division I commit, and rightfully so. But they can't do anything. I mean, Beloit cannot get the run game. They have one of the best running backs in the state of Kansas. He can't get going because at all three levels, this defense is fundamentally sound, the responsibility sound, and they're making sure they're always in the right spot.
So Beloit will be in punt formation here as they line it up. Hayden Nicholson will kick it. Jacobson and Hopkins back deep for Southeast of Saline. Nicholson kicks it low and flat, and it's just going to roll and go out of bounds. Nope, it's going to stay in bounds, but it's going to die at the 27-yard line. So Southeast of Saline will take over there and see if they can put more points on the board. We have really seen them thrive here so far in this new season, in this situation, making the last part of the first half theirs. Minneapolis, 7:26 left to go. We saw them score 32 points.
And we go back to those teaching moments again. 2 minutes to go in the half. No timeouts. You cannot replicate this at practice. You can only do this on Friday nights in game situations. So Coach Gebhardt's going to use every single second right here to work on their game, work on their craft, and work on their efficiency.
From the 27-yard line, Gannon Jacobson so far in this game, 9 of 12 throwing the football. He wants to throw here, rolling out to the right-hand side. Has a receiver. It's caught by Caden Berrigan. Berrigan takes what he can, then gets out of bounds at the 43-yard line. 16 yards and a first down.
And again, smooth, calm, and collected. Jacobson back there wasn't trying to go too big. Just get chunks. You get the ball to the outside. Give your wide receiver an opportunity to either cut outside to stop the clock, or if you bring that ball inside and you've already got the first down, the clock will stop. Time's not an issue. You have plenty of time right now with the clock stopping after every first down.
KB now with 2 catches. 2 wide receivers to the right. Jacobson wants to come left. He has 1 receiver. It's Hopkins. Catches it out in front. Turns to try to go to the sideline. Now he's going to go down this. Broke a tackle, and Fuller over there was able to keep Hopkins in the field of play, or else he might be in the end zone right now to your left, Tyler. That was a heck of a play again by Malachi Hopkins. That goes for 8 yards.
Oh, you love to see the emotion when you're down here on the field. Hopkins breaks that tackle and just gave a great big roar, and he deserved it. That was a great play to break free from that tackle. And you're exactly right. If he has a couple more inches on this side, he's housing that.
Got out of bounds, stopped the clock. Second down at the 50-yard line. 1:49 left to go here in the second quarter. Jacobson rolls out to the right, slips the screen back left. Gebhardt has it. Back across the line of scrimmage, 45-40. Drew Weller out in front. Grady Gebhardt with 1 Trojan to beat. Slide steps into the inside and gets into the end zone. He gave him a little fake to the inside like he was going to cut back, and then Grady just kept the accelerator on the floor and gets into the end zone. The 3rd consecutive drive, Jacobson to Gebhardt on a passing touchdown. Trojans of Southeast score again.
And Devin, again, we talk about this. As a defensive lineman, you're going, right? You're going. It's pass play, pass play, pass play. So their ears are back and they're going. So what do? Slip a little screen play. You get Gebhardt out here on the outside, and that hesitation was deadly.
What a play. And Drew Weller, give him a gold star as well. He was out there step for step with Grady Gebhardt just looking for somebody to block. Swinging gate, 2-point conversion for Southeast of Saline. Jacobson rolling out to the right-hand side, now throws it in the backcourt of the end zone. There's Gebhardt with a DB, and Grady comes down with it. Southeast of Saline scores another 8 with 1:37 left to go. Tyler, that didn't even take a minute to get that end zone.
So we discussed how you want to work on how you play with 2 minutes and work on efficiency, and I completely lied because that was not efficient at all. They scored immediately. All right, still a minute 37. You'd assume Beloit's going to run the clock out here, but just a great drive, a great way to respond when you have a 2-minute clock. That Southeast offense, Devin, it's so dangerous.
Jacobson to Gebhardt, 50 yards once again, and they have, wow. I mean, it is a exhibition of offensive excellence right now, what Southeast is doing. By the way, Gannon Jacobson, for the second time in 3 games, has at least 4 touchdowns in the first half passing.
And again, we've seen the short game, the mid game. He hasn't had to go long yet, but to me, what that tells me is that's a quarterback that understands the complete offense. He understands what the defense is doing to him. There's no need to take big shots. There's no need to go big. You get the ball to your playmakers where they're in space and you let them work, and that comes from maturation. It's not doing too much. What Jacobson, what Gebhardt, what this entire offensive unit is doing is just remarkable to see. And again, that goes us to talk about this offense, not talk about the defense again, because the defense is doing the exact same thing on their side of the football.
Grady Gebhardt, 3 receiving touchdowns in this game. Also has a rushing touchdown in this game. He has 13 touchdowns so far this season and hasn't played a complete game yet. 1:37 left to go here. Malachi Hopkins will kick it away to Beloit again. 36-0 is our score. And this is a shorter kick that's going to be taken by Beloit out past the 25-yard line. Tyson Keller in there on the tackle as the Beloit player just crossed the 25-yard line. Keller will take him down at the 27.
And Devin, that's a name, Tyson Keller, we continue to talk about on the special teams side. You look back the first 2 weeks of the season, those are these young guys we always talk about. You bust your tail on the special teams side, you're going to find yourself more and more defensive and offensive reps, and Keller continues to fly. He's a gunner right there, continues to be the first guy down, and he secures the tackle for Southeast.
Also, not only was that last drive of 63 yards a quick drive, there was also less than a minute and a half that separated the two Southeast of Saline scores. Beloit will come to the line of scrimmage, 1st down and 10. 2 receivers to the right. King hands it off to Rex Rowe. He's going to be hog-tied and taken down in the backfield. A host of Southeast of Saline players. Canyon Douglas there along with Drew Weller. Also coming up off the bottom of the pile for Southeast of Saline's defense. Looked like maybe Tristan Swank was in there as well.
Yeah, and a great play from Douglas. Not only making the tackle, but he still had leverage on the outside. If that ball's not handed off, he can take care of King. That's just great leverage, great responsibility. Saw the handoff, attacks. You just, gosh darn. I mean, Douglas, we talk about how coachable he is, how he can do so many different things on both sides of the football and the special teams side, but right there, that just showed so many different aspects of his defensive game.
Tyler, I'm glad to see you got your jogging pants on. I just got informed here by Coach Jacobson. They're going to meet over on the other side of the field, about the 30-yard line where the gentleman with crutches is. Not suggesting that you have to go that far, but here's a run up the middle. This is going to be Paxton Fouts, and Fouts will get a couple of yards, and that may do it here for the first half. Clock is running down. Southeast of Saline, boy, a very, very productive second quarter once again. They led it 14-0 at the end of the first, and as we are going into halftime, 36-0 after 22 second quarter points by Southeast of Saline. We'll check all the numbers for you coming up here at halftime, as Southeast of Saline having a very, very good outing here after the first half, waiting on head coach Mitch Gebhardt. And Tyler, I think that they're not going to the locker room. They're just going to go over there where the ambulance is located and just have a talk there. So we will wait on comments from head coach Mitch Gebhardt. We'll also have scores on the Bennington State Bank scoreboard coming up here at the half, and maybe we were...
No, you are correct. I think there's a lot going on down here right now.
Yeah, the players are taking off to go to the locker room. Coach Douglas is calling them back. Coach Gebhardt's calling them back. We'll just stay here and stall until we get somebody on the field to talk to us. You got that microphone. Everybody's running away from you right now, bud.
No, and it's fantastic. I mean, and Gebhardt just has a little grin on his face. I mean, this is the one play that they haven't executed tonight. All right, as I got Coach Gebhardt right here. Coach, great first half. It looks like it's business trip, not a pleasure trip. Can you just walk us through how you guys have built this 36-0 lead?
Well, I think it starts with our defense. They've had a couple long runs, but I feel like our defense has been flying to the football. They've got guys that make plays, and I feel like we've shut them down pretty well here in the first half.
From upstairs, it looks like just execution, just every aspect of the game, all three phases, offensive, defensive, and special teams are working well. What do you do to close this thing out with your explanation point that you guys normally do?
Well, we've got to keep after it. We have a 36-point lead, and you can't ever have a letdown. And we got to keep after it. And we have some things that we need to work on there offensively to make sure we're doing what we need to do.
Sounds fantastic, Coach. Let's go 1-0 again.
Comments on the field brought to you by Frisbee Construction, as a Southeast of Saline lead 36-0 has brought a hush over this crowd here at Beloit Stadium. When we come back, we will have scores. Also, we will check around stats from the first half. But coming up next, after this break, Wade Castleman will join us. Southeast of Saline Cross Country Update is coming up. And it's all coming up here on the Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories Halftime Report, where Southeast of Saline leads Beloit 36-0 here on KINA.
Knauf Auto and Truck Accessories. Everything to bling out your ride in one place, including top quality lift kits, wheels and tires, bumpers, Jeep accessories, fender flares, bed covers, bed liners, step bars, even custom painting. Knauf Auto is the AmSoil dealer and has many synthetics and filters in stock. Visit Knauf Auto on Facebook for specials, great ideas, and let them make your truck stick out in a crowd. Knauf Auto and Truck Accessories, supporting the Southeast of Saline Trojans.
New Image is offering ceramic tint. If you are sending your child off to school or your wife on a road trip, ceramic tint offers heat rejection up to 90%, privacy in a college town or in the city, and it helps keep wear down on the AC system, making the car easier to cool down. Never worry about you or your kid locking their keys in the car. With Drone Mobile, you can unlock their car for them from anywhere. Vehicle breakdown in an unknown area, GPS locating helps roadside services find your loved one quickly with the ability to send the vehicle location directly to the rescue squad. New Image Audio, your official tinting establishment for over 14 years, located at 340 South Broadway in Salina. Phone calls are welcome.
Whether on the field, court, or in the operating room, experience matters. A coach loves an experienced team just like a patient values an experienced doctor. Salina Ortho has ABOS board-certified physicians with over 40 years of orthopedic service. If you need help staying active or just want to discuss options regarding the newest techniques and services and specialties that Salina Ortho provides, see one of our trusted physicians or visit salinaortho.com. Salina Ortho, your voice, your choice, past, present, and future.
Hey Trojans fans, this is Angela Gephardt, proud wife of Southeast Saline head coach Mitch Gephardt. Just like the Trojans strive for excellence on the field, the Bank of Tuscott goes the extra mile to offer top-notch checking accounts that fit your style. Whether you're managing your day-to-day expenses or planning for the future, our checking accounts are easy, convenient, and tailored for you. Plus, with your local roots and friendly service, we're here to support you every step of the way. Go Trojans!
Bank of Tuscott, member FDIC.
This is the Trojan Halftime Report. Coming up, a first half recap, stats, interviews, and a look at other area games. Let's head back to the stadium for Trojan Halftime on KINA.
Back here on the Knauf Auto and Truck Accessories Halftime Report, I'm Tyler Henry, and it's time now for us to chat with head cross-country coach Wade Castleman. Our conversation presented by Juan L. Garrettson at Salina Homes. Coach, first and foremost, thank you so much for giving us some of your time today.
I'm glad to speak with you.
So there's an old saying, I know it's cliche, but I kind of like it. Tradition never graduates. With 19 state titles, do you feel like that's kind of the culture that you guys have built here at Southeast of Saline?
I do, and it's something to be proud of, and one thing that I never take for granted. We haven't won a couple cross-country titles in the last couple of years. I guess in the last year. On the cross-country side, we were close last year, but we're ready to make another run and try and get that established once again this season.
Well, and I think it speaks a lot, right? It's almost a disappointment that you've gone 365 days without a state title. You've got 2 meets under your belt this season. I want to go kind of one at a time here. How did you feel about the Wamego Invitational against some really good competition with the guys finishing second and the girls finishing 6th?
Wamego is a great meet for us to run against solid 4A programs that are, at the top. I would say they are very similar to us. They have very strong traditions. Every year, Wamego is a great 4A program. Christ Prep is a private school or homeschool group, and they're becoming really dominant. That program is led by an alumni from Southeast of Saline. So it's great to see that good competition. I think it makes us better so that when we get to those big meets, we know what to expect and how to perform at that high level.
Just out of curiosity, who is that Southeast alum that's leading that program?
Carrie Mueller, her last name is Chef now. Her mom worked out at Southeast for a lot of years, and Carrie was part of the Southeast cross-country programs years ago. So she's doing a nice job there.
Okay. Always fun to see where the Trojans and Lady Trojans end up after graduation. So, once the season really kind of gets into full swing, you had another meet yesterday at Buhler. The guys won that one. The girls finished on the podium in 3rd. What was your takeaway from another dominant performance, especially from the guys?
It was good. Not as many schools there, not as many individuals running. The course is a true cross-country course. It's at the Evergy Natural Prairie right there at Hutch. And footing isn't always the greatest there, but with the moisture we've had this fall, it made it for a good day. Still got to see very good competition, and it's some of the teams that we've seen several times this year. That was the third meet that we've seen Bueller this season, so I know they're probably getting tired of seeing us. But our schedule's about to change. We'll start seeing a lot more schools that are in the 3A classification in the next couple of weeks.
I know a lot of programs only really look at the next race, and you do have to focus on the race at hand. But at the same time, this is a program that knows how to win state championships. You know what's coming down the pipe. When it comes to preparing for state, what do you think is more important? Having the kids, run on courses that kind of mimic the one at Rimrock, or having them run against athletes like the ones they might face in Lawrence?
I would say it's a combination of the two. And actually, this is the first time since I've been the head coach that we're actually going to take our varsity to Rimrock to run at the Rimrock Invitational a week from Saturday. And we still have our home meet on Tuesday, and that's why we haven't gone in the past. It's not that we haven't had the caliber of kids to compete at that, but we have some kids that haven't ran on that course. And I think anytime we can get on the state course and run on it ahead of the state meet, I think that's a positive thing. We can try and mimic courses and the hills, but until you get right out there and run on that course, it's hard to duplicate that.
Every coach needs good leaders. Who are some of the runners you've had this year that have almost been like coaches themselves?
Well, on the girls' side, we don't have any seniors on our squad, and we don't have any freshmen on the girls' squad. So our junior girls have had to step up into that leadership role this year. And Piper Brown, Reagan Duran, and Anna Jackson and Layla Lund have stepped into those leadership roles. We don't have a lot of girls out this year. We only have 9 girls total out this year. And they've done a nice job bringing some of those sophomores along and some of the other juniors along. The majority of them have state experience and ran at state last year for us, so it's good to have that. And then on the guys' side, Braden Walker and Jacob Bircher and Isaiah Kerr are 3 of our seniors that, again, have had state experience work running at the state meet. Isaiah's had some injuries this last year, so he's trying to work his way back up into the varsity. But, the kids are working hard, and those seniors are providing good leadership on the guys' side.
I know typically, with cross country especially, right, you get kids back for another year. You expect that everybody, gets a little bit faster, throughout each season and throughout each off season. But in terms of improvement, either last year to this year, or maybe somebody that, didn't have a lot of experience last year to this year, who are some runners that have really impressed you with how they performed these first couple meets?
I would say Brooks and Zachary Carlin, they're sophomores this year. They've gotten a lot stronger, and Caleb Knopf, he's a sophomore as well, has gotten stronger. Edgar Calzada, he's been on our track team the last several years. He's been a 400 runner for us on the track team, and I talked him into coming out this year, and he has provided some great depth for us. He's been a true surprise. He's one of our top 7 guys, and he's been running varsity all season long, and he's not too far behind some of those guys that have that experience. And Edgar's still learning how to run cross country, and it's a big difference running 3.1 miles compared to 400 meters, and he's doing a nice job. And I think, he's only going to get stronger as the season goes on.
Well, and you've got your home meet here on Tuesday, as you alluded to a moment ago. When will that take place, and how can fans come out and support you and the team?
Well, we start at 4 o'clock with the junior high races. And actually, it starts off at 2:40 with the elementary Mighty Mini Trojan Fun Run to kind of kick things off. And then the junior high will start at 4 o'clock. And then around 5 o'clock, we'll start with the varsity races out at Southeast of Saline. The races start up on the practice football field and then finish down at the football stadium on the track. So we'd love to have people come out. There's also home volleyball that day, so parking's going to be a premium, so get here early to support Southeast of Saline cross country and Southeast of Saline volleyball.
Well, Coach Castleman, thank you so much for your time, sir. Best of luck to your team next week.
Thank you very much, Tyler. I appreciate it.
Once again, that was Wade Castleman joining us here on the Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories Halftime Report. Our conversation presented by Juanel Garrettson at Salina Homes. And don't forget to support Southeast of Saline Cross Country and Volleyball. Both will have home matches and runs coming up this Tuesday. We'll step away, but when we come back, the halftime show rolls on. You're listening to Southeast of Saline Football right here on KINA.
It's third down and 8 for the Trojans. They really need to make the right call here.
During the football game, it's crucial to make the right call. And in real estate, one call can bring a positive outcome from your real estate experience. Whether you're looking for rural property, upsizing to make room for the family, downsizing, or acquiring investment property, call Juanel Garrettson at salinahomes.com.
What a call! Touchdown, Trojans!
Buy or sell, call Juanel.
It's natural to think that insurance is complicated, but at Farmers Agency, we know a thing or two about helping to make it easier by explaining your available coverage options. And with over 25 years of experience in insurance, we can help you through the process step by step. Call Kniper Agency at 825-8419 to learn more today.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum.
Salina Surgical Hospital is a high-quality surgical facility with a comfortable and home-like atmosphere. Together with our community's greatest doctors, we are committed to a patient care model where exceptional satisfaction is the norm and every patient feels like they are treated with respect, dignity, and compassion. Salina Surgical Hospital is partially owned by a group of local community-involved physicians. Talk to your doctor about scheduling your next procedure with us. Salina Surgical Hospital. Your voice, your choice.
Southeast wins! Southeast of Saline wins! Trojan fans, it's not too late to get your 2024 state championship merch or to get custom gear to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the 2005 state championship team at CopyCo. In addition to great SES gear that you can wear all year round, CopyCo also offers custom printing so you can support any student athlete in any activity from football and basketball to choir and band. See them at 2346 Planet Avenue in Salina.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back here in Beloit, Devin Haney, Tyler Smith, Nick Garst producing and engineering back at the KINA studios. Let's go over stats from the first half. For Beloit, throwing the football, they are 2 of 6 for 17 yards at the half. They also are being led in rushing by Joel Rexroth, 31 yards for him. Southeast of Saline throwing the football, a little bit different story there. Gannon Jacobson has unleashed the cannon 4 times so far. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's 11 of 15 for 213 yards. Main target so far, Grady Gebhardt on that dangerous screen. We've seen several variations of it. 6 catches for Grady, 143 yards and 3 touchdowns. Grady also has 11 carries for 107 yards and a touchdown. Gannon Jacobson has 6 carries, 44 yards. All in all, Beloit 51 yards rushing, 17 yards passing, 68 yards of total offense. Southeast of Saline, 152 yards rushing, 213 yards passing, 365 yards of offense here at the break. Go over scores from around the area on the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. Ellsworth right now leading Minneapolis at the half, 23-14. Saline got a victory. That one's already been called, 54-0 over Norwich. Hayes and Manhattan doing battle in a clash of 6 and 5A powers. That game scoreless, 0-0 at the half. Abilene and Concordia tied up in the NCKL at halftime, 7-7. Republic County leads Lions 24-0 at the half. And a game that was delayed, they started it and got to the 8:54 mark left in the second quarter. Scott City leading Hoisington 14-7. They're going to have to go back and finish that one tomorrow, which would just be awesome. Sorry, I need to plug you back in there. It's playing on Saturday is one thing. I mean, we've obviously done it several times, and that's fine if you have the whole game day experience and whatnot, but boy, when you start a game and you get in the middle of it and then you got to go back and finish it, that's another thing.
Devin, my first coach experience on Saturday, I thought it'd be so cool. I'm like, everybody will be here. I was at Salina South. We were playing Bishop Carroll, both teams ranked in the top end of 5A, and we show up on Saturday and it is crickets. Nobody's there because that's why it's called Friday Night Lights.
Yep, there's just a lot of activities on Saturday. I guess anybody playing on Saturday tomorrow, the good thing for them is the Division I college that's closest to us isn't playing tomorrow. They're on a bye week, which they need.
True that.
Beloit Southeast. Boy, what a first half, huh? Southeast of Saline, 365 yards of offense unofficially. The defense for Southeast of Saline only gives up 68. You look at this second half, Tyler, this is a situation that I don't know. I mean, I don't think anything surprises us with this Southeast group anymore. I know we have a blast watching them, but what do you think their focus is on the second half? I think we saw some penalties that were untimely that set a couple of drives back. They were able to overcome it on one drive. Another drive, they weren't. What do you think here about second half?
Well, it's just about keeping it clean. I mean, stay clean, stay healthy. And, we talked about that you're not going to win every play, but in Coach Gephardt's mind, I'm sure you're saying you're going to win every play. Like, your goal is to win every play. It doesn't matter if you're a starter, if you're the second string, if you're a freshman getting reps here at Beloit, which sounds insane, but there's going to be freshmen getting first reps at Beloit. That stuff's going to happen. You're going to win every play. Your goal is to do that. You continue to play the Southeast way, get yourself out of here with a huge road win.
Beloit ready to put it on the tee and kick it off. Southeast of Saline is scheduled to take the opening kick, as Beloit will kick it off as we look at from west to east. A little bit of lightning off in the distance. I don't think that'll affect it. I mean, that was way out there.
Okay.
Way out there.
We don't need that.
Yeah, we'll see. But I think we'll be fine. Here's a kick that pops straight up in the air. It's going to come down and bounce at the 21. It's going to be taken by Canyon Douglas, and he's going to fight and scratch his way out to the 25-yard line. Don't forget to check out our Salina Post Facebook page and Twitter or X at @SPostSports after the game to see video highlights from all around the area, proudly presented by Billings Group in Salina. Southeast of Saline will come out, nose of the football, sitting at the 25-yard line. They've had decent field position all night. This is one of the worst starting spots they've had. We're talking about the 25-yard line.
Well, and also the first time that Beloit's kicked off all night. It's the first time that Southeast defense didn't dictate where the ball was going to be kicked from. So let's see what Southeast can do with a full field ahead of them.
3 wide receivers, right-hand side, little delay handoff to Grady Gebhardt. He comes through the line of scrimmage, 5 yards, now out to the 30. Shakes another would-be tackler to the 35. Brushes aside another Beloit Trojan and still standing as he gets bumped out of bounds at the 40-yard line. A 15-yard carry by Grady Gebhardt.
Yeah, and as much as we've said great that Caden Berrigan's tonight, he missed a block on the outside that would have sprung Gebhardt for a 75-yard run. Sorry, trying to do the math right there really quickly. But Berrigan just whiffs on the block, comes back, tries to get himself involved. You like to see that fight, but you got to get that initial block to spring that huge run.
From the 25 to the 40, they'll shift the formation now. 3 wide receivers to the left-hand side. Jacobson, empty backfield. Little head switch goes that way. Now he's going to run it straight up the gut and 11 yards for Gannon Jacobson. Gannon has only carried the ball 11 times tonight, but he has 55 yards of rushing and took that one across the midfield stripe to the Beloit 49.
And there's so much finesse and power combined in those runs. I mean, he's seeing gaps, he's hitting them. Minimal contact, right? When the contact's there, he's going down, he's keeping himself safe, but he's getting to where he needs to get. Just another, and that means your offensive line's doing their job.
First down and 10 from the Beloit 49-yard line. Jacobson, little screen play out to the left. Gebhardt spins off a tackler. Malachi Hopkins helped out as well, and Grady looked like it was going to go maybe for no gain on the play. Ends up getting 5 out of that one.
Yeah, and a great job from Beloit right there. You just saw the defense swarms. And again, we say a gain of 5. That's, on that play, we've seen that thing spring, but it was Beloit just everywhere, and it looked like Nicholson again. Yeah, Hayden Nicholson over there just making a play to make sure that play didn't spring for more.
We'll give him 5. Second down and 5 coming up just inside of the 45-yard line. Here's Bryson Lippold, and Jacobson was retreating, trying to get away from a would-be tackler from Beloit that came through on the blitz. It was Carter Jermark, and he kind of didn't put enough on that one to get Lippold. Lippold might have had a touchdown there. There was just nobody out here on the flat with Bryson Lippold that time who was coming across the field.
Yeah, great play from Jermark. I mean, that's one of those things. You're on an island right there at Jacobson. A lot of people don't win that. He had Jacobson retreating. Jacobson wasn't able to get enough on the throw because of the Jermark pressure.
3rd down and 5. It's about 5.5. That football sitting right between the 44 and 45 yard lines. Tight formation here for southeast of Saline. Gebhardt directly behind Jacobson. Now he'll leave. Flank out to the right in motion. Jacobson, clean pocket. Lets one rip down the middle of the field. Malachi Hopkins goes up and turns in to a little bit of a defensive back there. That ball might have been in jeopardy of being intercepted. Hopkins comes over and knocks it away from the defensive back, incomplete.
And Devin, that's a film play from Beloit right there. We saw that play last week where Grady comes out. You saw Beloit gave him a lot of attention, but they not only gave him a lot of attention, they knew that there was deep routes coming. That's just a good defensive play from the Beloit secondary.
Little test here for southeast of Saline's offense on 4th and 5. Ball around midfield here, sitting about the 44, 45 yard line. They're going to go for it, at least give the look. Also in a quick kick situation here. Remember Gannon Jacobson, also your punter. See what Southeast has on their mind. They have 2 receivers stacked to the right-hand side. Jacobson takes the snap. They are running a play. Screening out to Lippold. Lippold has it off his shoulder. Breaks a tackle. First down. 30, 20, down the right-hand sideline. Ran out of bounds at about the 10. Bryson Lippold just broke a tackle to get that first down and more.
And Devin, it was everything that led up to that. Lippold kind of bobbles the pass. It'd be easy for him to panic. As soon as he finally gathers the football, 2 Beloit defenders collide on him. Lippold just secures the football and springs free for a great play for southeast of Saline.
First catch of the night by Bryson Lippold. It's 35 yards and goes down to the 9-yard line. Southeast of Saline in the Case IH Red Zone, brought to you by Can-Equip and Solomon. 2 receivers to the left. Now make it 3. Gebhardt goes that way. Jacobson gives him a look. Now over the middle. Canyon Douglas caught it, and then he fumbles it, and it goes into the end zone. Gannon Jacobson saying that ball was incomplete. The officials are going to say it was a catch and a fumble into the end zone that has been recovered by Beloit.
I have seen 2 different signals from the exact same official. First it was incomplete. Then he said touchback. They're going to call it touchback.
So about a 7-yard gain, 8-yard gain, and that's the first turnover of the year on southeast of Saline. And it was close. I don't know that I'm buying that he had that ball, but that's what they're going to rule on the field, that it was a catch and then a fumble into the end zone. Beloit's going to get credit for a stop. And the unfortunate thing about that, you never want to have a turnover. They're not good at any time, but it was on first down that play happened.
Yeah, and regardless, that's a play that Cannon Douglas will know that he should have either continued on with the reception or gathered it. He had great position. He did everything right, just couldn't secure the football. But that's somebody he'll continue to go with because he got himself in that great position.
Canyon's 3rd catch of the night, 42 yards. He had a touchdown on his first reception. Here comes Beloit, starting out at their own 20, 36-0, southeast of Saline. King wants to throw the ball. Has a receiver complete out to the 27, 28-yard line on the pitch and catch to Cale Linners.
Yeah, and again, you're right. Linners is a name called a couple times last season in that state semifinal game. Been relatively quiet tonight. And those are players that you have to get going if you're Beloit and you want to see some offensive production.
First catch of the night by Linners. He goes for 7.5. Nose of the football sitting at the 28-yard line. Keep it tuned to KINA tonight from 10 until 11 o'clock. We have the high school football scoreboard show, a full hour of scores and recaps from across the state of Kansas, brought to you by Salina Surgical Hospital. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Rex Road directly behind King. He'll take the handoff. Little counter step, slides to the left, gets across the 30 to about the 31-yard line. Gain of 4 on the play for Rex Road.
Yeah, again, he's so slippery. He can get himself through small gaps. He can get himself anywhere. But you saw right there, Amarian Holub secures the tackle, did a good job coming up. Again, that's that D-line doing their job, so Holub in that second level can make the tackle.
You have Douglas, Lippold, Vaughn, and Gebhardt in that second level. Then you have a nice collection of defensive backs right now with Holub, Jacobson, Hopkins, and also Tiernan Potachik out there. Here's the screen play out to the right-hand side. Good throw by King. Jacobson's going to come up and make the tackle and limit that to about a 5-yard gain out there to Cannon Olson.
Yeah, we saw Jacobson just fire down right there. Potachik's got to do a better job keeping that leverage. You saw him kind of come inside a little bit, gave up that outside leverage, but Gannon was able to run down the receiver and make a big tackle to keep keep a minimal gain.
Football out to the 36-yard line as we work our way through the third quarter. 8:40 left to go here in the third period. Trojan football tonight here on KINA and also live stream video on SalinaPost.com paired with the radio broadcast brought to you by Salina Ortho. 2nd down and 5 for the Beloit Trojans, just outside of their own 35-yard line. They'll throw it again over here to the left. It's going to be caught. Nope, dropped. Incomplete. First incompletion of the second half. 2 out of 3 passing now for Beloit here in this third quarter. They are 4 of 9 for the game.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that pass, nothing wrong with that route, but it was Malachi Hopkins that made contact immediately when that ball did, got a hand in there. That's a great play. His coverage is off, doesn't want to get burnt deep, but he read that play. Fantastic, breaks on the football. It's a big-time play from the senior Hopkins.
3rd down and 5 for the Beloit Trojans here. Still in their own territories. They took over after a Southeast of Saline fumble that went into the end zone. Beloit recovered it for the touchback from the 36. 3rd down and 5, 2 receivers to the left. King, a little delay handoff. It was a slight delay to Rexroad. He's only going to get a yard before he was thrown backwards. A Marion Hollub, Killian Vaughn. Whenever I see Killian, he looks like the prototype linebacker, right?
He does.
56.
Yes.
He looks like he would stick his face in a full-speed fan for you, and he's just on turf, but he's dirty somehow. I mean,
yes.
He looks like that guy.
And you see him walking around school, exact same thing. He just looks like he's built for this game. We need to give him a fat neck roll, get him the Bosworth gloves. Like he is just meant to play that inside linebacker position.
Killian Vaughn held him to a yard there. Now they're going to be in punt formation, Will Beloit. Jacobson receives it at the 30-yard line. Takes off to the left-hand side. Flag on the play. Gannon, almost seeing the flag, just takes it out of bounds. And we'll have to check it. Probably a bad block here on Southeast of Saline.
Yeah, I think they're going to call a hold on Southeast. And right there, that's one of those. It's so difficult to block in those situations. You're sprinting full speed. You then have to gather and find your responsibility, find the guy that you're supposed to be with. And every once in a while, if you're a step or two late, the only thing you can do is just grab onto anything. And it looks like Southeast is guilty of a holding penalty.
Flag sitting at the 40-yard line. So take him back to around the 30 here. Drop the football and give it back to Southeast of Saline. Southeast had a nice drive, about 75 yards to open the second half. But again, that last possession ended up in their first turnover of the season. And the only turnover so far in this game. It's been pretty clean as far as turnovers go.
Yeah, it really has been. And despite whatever the score looks at the end of the night, that's what you want from both head coaches, to keep the game clean. If you keep the clean and you keep the ball, you're going to have a chance to win any game.
Delay handoff. They fake it to Douglas. Now go to Gebhardt. Another flag on the play coming from the back judge. He's been a busy guy tonight. About an 8-yard gain by Gebhardt. But again, the flag that we will check. And Southeast has challenged themselves tonight on offense with these flags. They have been in several situations where it's 1st and 20, 1st and 19. We even saw a 1st and 30 at one point.
Yeah, it looked like out there. I think it was Lipple that might have been called for the penalty, but we're in a very fortunate spot. We can see a little bit of film right here next to Coach Jacobson. Those are difficult penalties to see. Might have also, and let's also remember Brody Litton is out there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's creating a lot of issues. We haven't said his name a lot, but he's doing a lot, and you have to work really hard to keep him off and keep everybody clean.
Canyon Douglas screenplay on the outside. He was coming from the slot and slips through his hands and incomplete. Jacobson 3 of 6 passing the football here so far in the second half. 14 of 21 for the game.
And Devin, I always like to see these 3rd and long plays, all right? Obviously, you've got the punt in the back of your bag on 4th down, but you're looking like, how do you make a big chunk? And this is the time I think you want to secure the football. You're not going to throw the ball far. You're going to rely on your athletes. You're going to try to create space and let them work. You're not going to take too big of a gamble. You're just going to try to get a positive play here, see if you can have your athlete beat Beloit's athlete and make a 17, 18-yard gain here.
2nd 17. Southeast will put a couple of wide receivers out to the right-hand side. It's Douglas and Hopkins. Snap back to Jacobson. They're going to pitch it out. Gebhardt away from the receivers. And a nice defensive play there by Beloit will keep Grady Gebhardt in the backfield and throwing for a loss of a yard.
And again, that play keeps the clock going, okay? 4th down, not something you work on a lot right now. And I'm way bad at math. It's only 3rd down. So,
Yep.
Yeah. I'll just stop talking for a second.
Okay.
I'll regroup.
3rd and 18 from the 22-yard line. Jacobson, 5 wide receivers. Over the hash mark, it goes to Hopkins, and Malachi jumped up for the football and drops it. So a couple of drops here by the Southeast receivers not helping matters. And Southeast of Salina, I think for the first time tonight, will enter into punt formation. Gannon Jacobson will be the leg, and they will switch units here, and the punt guys will come out. Levon Hopkins out there. Tyson Keller also out there. Jacobson will be standing back inside of his own 10-yard line. Joel Rexroth, the return man for Beloit. Clean snap back to Jacobson. It's a high, short punt coming down about midfield, and Rexroth's going to have it. Lyric Lilly ran into him as he will have kick-catch interference at midfield and another penalty on Southeast of Saline.
Yeah, it's a tough one from Lilly. Lilly's just busting his tail down there. You saw the arms up. He saw he got too close to Rexroth. By the time he got there, he couldn't put on the brakes. It's a good call from the officials. Rexroth had the fair catch called. It's going to be catch call interference on Douglas.
Mitch Gebhardt, arms crossed, about 5 yards out onto the field once again, as they do call interference to catch that kick or impacting the opportunity to catch the kick. Rexroth still caught it. But they will tack on some penalty yardage now that will put Beloit into Southeast of Saline territory as they come off the ear hole of the Trojan logo at midfield.
And I think one thing that we'll always say, it doesn't matter where the flag comes from as long as you get the right call. The right call was made, but there was an official right there that didn't throw the flag. The flag came from 30 yards out, but you'll tip your cap. That is the right call. Really, really good field position from Beloit to start this drive.
So Beloit will start at the Southeast of Saline 36-yard line. It's the best field position they have had here in the second half. Here's a little read option play, and Truett King's going to pay the price. Canyon Douglas was there. Drew Weller with the tackle all the way back outside of the 45-yard line. They're actually going to put the football down at the 45, and it's a loss of 9. Weller on the play.
Yeah, the play action fake got me, but it did not get Drew Weller. Weller, ears were pinned back, makes a great sack on Truett King.
So that'll back Beloit up to the 45-yard line. 5:57 left to go here, third quarter. No scoring yet here in the second half. 36-0 as a residual from the first half and the work the Southeast of Saline did. 2 receivers to the left. They also have 2 backs in tight on the end of the line of scrimmage, right-hand side. King, little read option again. This time Rexroth's going to keep it, and he's out loose. He's going to be spun around by Holub, but still on his feet. Now Holub comes back to him and gets finished off by Canyon Douglas. Douglas came down with him with the football. They're going to say Rexroth's down at the 30. Douglas, though, was the one that popped up with the ball in his hands.
And that's what Rexroth can do. Didn't have anything at the line of scrimmage, just continue to work and battle himself through. But again, it's Holub that just continue to stay with the play. Missed a tackle, didn't give up, didn't hang his head, comes back up and helps clean the play up on the backside.
Gain of 15, went to the 30-yard line, and now it's going to be 3rd down and 4 for Beloit. So the Southeast defense being tested here. This is not the best field position Beloit's had. Remember, they made it to the goal line and went for it on 4th down, and Southeast stopped them. King, little pump and go. Had the pump fake. Now he's going to step up. Nobody open. He wants to run, and he will not have a good time doing that. Back to the original line of scrimmage. It's Gebhardt and Chambers that was there to greet the freshman quarterback for a loss of 5.
Again, roles and responsibilities look like a little cover, too. Tiernan Potachik's job right there on the outside is to get rid of that receiver, push him to the inside because he knows he has safety help. That safety was Gannon Jacobson, who didn't bite on that little pump fake, had it covered, and then all of a sudden you just let your big guys come swallow up King.
Southeast came into this game after playing 2 games, just 1 quarterback sack. Of course, there wasn't a lot of opportunities to get any sacks against Clay Center. They only threw the ball 5 times, but they're racking some up here in this game. A lot of tackles for loss there for the Southeast of Saline defense. Beloit's going to go for it here, 4th down and 9. Football sitting at the 35-yard line. 3 receivers to the left-hand side. Truett King has the snap, being chased. Gebhardt gets blocked off of him. Now the ball's going to fly. It's going to be picked off. Gannon Jacobson takes it away at the 6-yard line. A turnover for Southeast of Saline's defense, and it's Gannon Jacobson with the pick.
And Evan, and you know Coach Gebhardt's going to let Jacobson know this. What do you do on 4th down, a long play like that? You knock the ball down. Southeast actually lost yardage on that play. However, every once in a while, go show off your athleticism and make a pick like that.
You can't have a 94-yard drive if you don't start at the 6, Tyler. That is the key.
There you go. You're exactly right.
You want to start out at the 30 and have 70 yards, or you want to start at the 6 and have 94?
I want 94.
Brody Chambers running off the field here as Gannon Jacobson now turns around. He goes to the quarterback spot. He'll put Amarion Holub in motion. Here's Grady Gebhardt. He comes out to the 10, 15, 20. Look out, 25, 30, 35, 40. Rexroth's chasing. We've seen this before. And Rexroth will catch Grady Gebhardt this time all the way down to the 30-yard line. Grady Gebhardt.
How is that not a horse call?
To the 30-yard line and drugged down from behind awkwardly that time by Joel Rexroth. And no flag on the play. Boy, Grady, you just think about him getting hurt last year in this game and then missed 3 games. Hope he's okay there. That was an awkward tackle.
Hey, we rarely see any emotion from Gebhardt, but as he slid right there, just saw 2 fingers just pointed for a first down. Just a great run again. All started from the offensive line from Southeast. Just so much commotion, so much movement up front, and then Gebhardt off to the races, and there's not many guys that can run him down, but Rexroth did a good job going stride for stride.
67 yards on the run. Amarion Holub now will be in the back. No, excuse me, that's Grady Gebhardt. Again, they go right back to Grady. He sniffs the 20-yard line after a gain of about 5. 67 yards on that carry by Grady Gebhardt. And you talk about field position, that helps flip it pretty quick.
And Devin, that was Amarion Holub right there
with
that carry. But they're looking very similar, which is a great compliment to both backs.
Gebhardt unofficially 191 yards. Holub on that play took 4. Jacobson rolling out, wants to throw, has a receiver, and it's going to be intercepted. Beloit intercepts it. Boy, this passing game for Southeast has not been sharp here in this third quarter. A lot of drop balls.
Yeah, you're seeing it right there. I mean, that interception, and that's just one of those things that happens as a quarterback. I mean, put the ball in the money, put it to Douglas, who normally has secure hands. You're wondering if the lingering effects of that last drop/fumble are still in Douglas's hands, but in his head. But great job from Gannon. We saw it again. Nice composure, kept himself calm, rolling out, makes a good throw. Those drops won't happen too much more often for Southeast.
So the two teams exchange turnovers and interceptions. Southeast of Saline's defense coming out. Grady Gebhardt still not out there. As Beloit will come out here and try to put a drive together. Josh Watkins will fill the spot next to Killian Vaughn, normally occupied by Gebhardt. Rexroth tried the right-hand side of his line, and Brody Chambers there to not agree with that.
Yeah, again, the defensive line, nobody was agreeing with that. Just collapsed the hole immediately. Rexroth had zero space to go anywhere.
Tristan Swank also in there, along with Chambers, the two big boys in the middle doing their job. No gain on the play for Rexroth. 14 carries, unofficially 51 yards. Second down and 10. Football at the 12-yard line. Play action. Here comes King on the quarterback keeper, and he is going to maybe make it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on that play.
And Devin, again, it was a lip hold that just comes from the outside. The defensive line all took care of their responsibilities. That gave Lippold a free rein to come in. He scraped off the outside and makes a tackle for no gain.
Weller, Swank, Chambers up front right now. And they have been the first barrier of defense against this Beloit running attack tonight that has not crossed 100 yards yet. 3 receivers to the right. King back to pass, clean pocket. Now he's going to take off and run. Southeast was playing coverage that time, and King's going to step out of bounds short of the first down. He had Brody Chambers chasing him. I don't blame him at all for stepping out of bounds, but he's going to be 2 yards short of the sticks. Be 4th down and 2.
Yeah, you're right, and that's just a freshman mistake. I mean, that's where you plant that outside foot in the turf, and you've got to fight for those extra couple yards. That's a play that he'll mature and he'll learn from. I'm sure that'll be highlighted on film when they watch it together. But that's a tough play. But again, when you're getting chased by Chambers, I'm also stepping out of bounds.
Boys showing punt formation here as they send their punter Hayden Nicholson out onto the field. 1:15 left to go here in the third quarter. Nicholson takes a few steps to the right, and he uncorks a duck that doesn't even make it to the 40-yard line. Picked up on the run by Gannon Jacobson, and he is going to be pushed out of bounds on that far side through the southeast of Saline sideline.
Moving on up.
So Gannon is going to bring it back just inside of the 30-yard line to about the 29. And maybe a flag over there on the far side. I cannot see over there. But Gannon was definitely hit late in that play.
Well, and Devin, to me, that's a leadership play. Gannon knows this offense is not doing what it should be doing in this third quarter. So what does he do? He could have easily just got away from that football, let it squirt away. He's making a play. He's showing that he's the leader of this team. He's going to make sure something positive happens. Not only did he get about a 10 or 15-yard gain, you add on that penalty. That's a huge momentum shift right there, and that's exactly what you need to reignite your offense for Southeast.
Yeah, that ball was going to be somewhere between the 40 and 45. He came and scooped it up, got 15 yards out of it, and then the 15-yarder on top of that puts Southeast of Saline in the Case IH Red Zone, brought to you by Can-Equip and Solomon. Football setting at the 15-yard line. Jacobson has an opening on the left-hand side. He doesn't even get touched, and he walks it in, holding the ball out in front as he crosses the goal line. It's a one-play Gannon Jacobson touchdown drive.
And again, it was his play on the previous play. We've mentioned him twice now in special teams on that punt return game that led to that. It's demoralizing for Beloit, and right there, Gannon with the touchdown run just completely takes all the momentum away from Beloit. The nail in the coffin has already been put in there. That's the second nail.
First rushing touchdown of the night for Gannon Jacobson. It's his second rushing touchdown of the season. And Southeast of Saline will go for two. Straight up the gut, it's Gannon Jacobson again, and he tacks on the 2-point conversion. 8 more points for Southeast of Saline as they have extended their lead now 44-0. 1:01 left to go here in the third quarter. You're listening and watching Trojan football, brought to you by Salina Ortho.
4 walls and a roof can make a house, but a home, that's where life happens. First steps, backyard birthdays, morning coffee, sunsets on the porch. Home isn't something you buy, it's something you feel. And when it's right, you just know. For 22 years, Dan Goebel has helped people in Salina find that feeling. And now, he's here to help you. Your home is out there. Dan Goebel knows the way. Call 785-819-1904 or visit Salina Homes to find your way home.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Devin Haney, Tyler Smith up here in the coach's suite along with Coach Jacobson. It's been fun being side by side with him tonight. 44-0 our score, Tyler. Southeast of Saline. It's been a clunky third quarter for both sides. We've seen our first turnovers of the game, each team throwing an interception. We saw Southeast fumble into the end zone. But nonetheless, here we are still talking about a Southeast defensive shutout and a 44-0 lead. 1 minute left to go in the third.
And it's all right to have bad quarters, all right? Like, how do you respond if you just blow the doors off everybody all the time? There's no adversity. We've seen some adversity this quarter, but you saw right there, that drive started by the Gannon Jacobson punt return that should not have happened, just created a great one-play drive for Southeast.
Hopkins' kick dies inside the 5. They have to pick it up, and it's going to be Fuller coming up the far sideline. I don't know where he stepped out of bounds, but we'll get a spot here soon. Looked like he was kind of along that edge the whole way, brought it out past the 20, and we'll see where they start. Beloit here going to be about the 29 or 30-yard line for this next drive. On that last touchdown run by Gannon Jacobson, by the way, Grady Gebhardt was back out on offense. He is back out there on defense for this drive. And it will start with a Beloit line of scrimmage at the 28-yard line.
Yeah, good to see Grady out there again after that kind of awkward tackle from Rexford in that long run. It's good to see him get up, get back in the game. Sometimes sitting, not doing anything, kind of makes those tackles feel a little bit worse. Good to see him up and moving again.
From the 28, Beloit looking to put their first scoring drive together here. 2 receivers to the left. They'll give it to Rexroth, wanting to sweep left-hand side, and that's not going to happen. Canyon Douglas held contained over there, and then flying through the hole, looking like a free safety, was Brody Chambers. Holy cow.
You're exactly right, but it was the contain, it was just leverage, it was responsibility, sound defense right there, and Chambers is rewarded with a huge tackle for a loss right there on Rexroth.
He is so much fun to watch.
And it's every play. It's every single play. His motor is unbelievable. You're not a state wrestling champion without a great motor, and he shows his abilities every single play. Doesn't matter if it's offensively or defensively, he just goes.
And he just went and got all the wrestling championships last year. I mean, when he was done with football, it's like, I'm going to just stack my trophy case. Good for him. Of course, Mac, his older brother, is in college wrestling right now, having great success. And that will be the end of the third quarter. So one score from Southeast of Saline gives us a count of 44-0. Southeast leading Beloit. We'll go to the fourth quarter. When we come back, it's brought to you by Salina Ortho.
The hours of drills, the pre-dawn workouts, the hundreds of laps. It takes hard work, passion, and drive to do what you love. When you're sidelined by injury, Salina Regional Sports Medicine is just as committed and works just as hard to get you back in the game. Salina Regional Sports Medicine, 785-452-7366. SalinaRegionalSportsMedicine.com.
Frisbee Construction is a service organization for the commercial grain industry dedicated to giving you the best in planning, the best in quality, and the best of workmanship, and overall the best value for your dollar since 1949. Frisbee Construction specializes in new construction as well as remodel and repair of grain handling facilities throughout the Midwest. Frisbee Construction Company in Gypsum has emergency crews available as needed. For more information, go to frisbeeinc.com.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Welcome back to Beloit. Fourth quarter action here on KINA and also SalinaPost.com, presented by Salina Ortho. The two Trojan teams in the NCAA Class 2A. Two of the Final Four standing last year for the playoffs. Doing battle here tonight, it's been Southeast of Saline's game here so far. 1 quarter left, 44-0 Southeast. Truett King back there trying to get something going, fighting for some space, fighting for some daylight. He keeps going backwards. Now he's going to throw a screen to Rexrow. Joel Rexrow has 15 yards to go back to the line of scrimmage, and then he is clobbered by Killian Vaughn. Vaughn coming in and just going airborne, making that tackle. And after all of that, it went for 4 yards.
That was just fun football
yeah,
right there.
It was.
We saw great coverage from Southeast, and King did a great job keeping himself free with minimal pass rush right there, and finds Rexroad, who was just he'd already got off.
And give
great awareness.
Give Joel Rexroad credit, too, for coming back and being available. I'm sure there was some verbal communication there as well, but, yeah.
And that was fun. That's the funnest 4 yards we've had tonight, for sure.
You give it to the one guy that can get out of that trouble for you. He's the guy. 3 wide receivers for Beloit on the right-hand side. Rexroad stands to the left hip of Truett King. 3rd down and 6 for the Beloit Trojans. Here comes the blitz. Gebhardt comes free, and King can't dance out of that one. Grady coming in, house on fire, and able to get another quarterback sack for Southeast of Saline.
And we talked about it on 2nd and long. We didn't see pressure. We saw coverage. We saw a lot of zone. It was just 3-man rushing right there. You sent Grady, and you're not accounting for Grady. You're in trouble.
Loss of 8 on the play. Now 4th and long, 4th and 14 coming up. Jacobson, Hopkins back deep, standing at about their own 40-yard line. Another high snap on this punt. Beloit's going to get their foot into it. It's going to one-hop to Jacobson at the 43, to the 50, to the 45. Stiff arm, tried to get away, but he could not. And he's going to be brought down at the 44-yard line. I think a little bit of a Medal of Honor in this game goes to Hayden Nicholson, the Beloit punter, because he's been chasing long snaps all over this field here tonight.
He has. He's done a great job. A lot of fingertip catches as the punter, getting his hands up there and getting the ball away before that Southeast of Saline pressure can get to him. But again, that's not an easy spot. Anytime you're jumping up, you don't practice too many snaps. You're wanting that thing right in the chest. That thing's getting up. He's catching the fingertips, getting that ball off his foot, and doing a good job trying to shift the field for Beloit.
Remember, their first punt tonight, the ball was low to him, and he was able to pick it up and kind of skirt out to the left and get that kick away. Here's Southeast of Saline on offense. Tiernan Patachik in there. They're going to give it to Levon Hopkins, who's in the gap, and he's going to negotiate his way close to a first down on a gain of 9.5. Levon Hopkins' first carry of the night.
Yeah, it's always great to see, when the younger guys get in, get reps. Again, we don't see a lot of drop-off when these guys get in. They just continue to they pick up the torch, and they just continue to carry it.
9:45 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Lyric Lilly is out there. Jaden Kloster, Adam Teal, Tiernan Potacek, Levon Hopkins behind him. Tiernan handing the ball off again. Levon goes right, then takes on some contact as he comes back to the left, gets the first down for Southeast of Saline. Nice carry there once again by Levon Hopkins. We'll see Tyson Keller and James Friesen come into the game here.
And again, just keep it simple, right? Doesn't matter who you have in as the offensive line. You're still going against Beloit's number one defense, and this offensive line continues to get a push. You're continuing to get yardage before you have contact. Anytime you're doing that, you're tipping your cap to those big fellas up front.
Kane Sawyers, Ryan Weller into the game on the offensive line as well. Here comes Keller in motion. They fake the handoff to Tyson. Tiernan's going to keep it. Here's Potacek out in the open. 25, puts on the brakes, now to the 20, and brought down there. It's a quick gain by Tiernan Potacek of 12 yards.
And it's Tiernan's eyes. His eyes know exactly which read he's supposed to have. He sees that backer collapse, takes that handoff, keeps it to himself, and just a great play from Tiernan. So heady, so fundamentally sound with the football. We don't talk about it much, but ball handling as a quarterback is just like being a ball handler as a basketball player, as a ball handler as an infielder or a baseball player. You got to be able to handle the ball, make sure you're kind of deceiving the defense with the rock, and Potacek did a great job there keeping the football.
Eli Jennings has stayed in at center. Garrett Kuhn has stayed in at right tackle. 3 wide receivers to the right. Potacek wants to throw. Southpaw to the left. Has Teal. Teal jumps up, makes the catch, brings it to the 14-yard line. Quick little gain on the pitch and catch of 6. Potacek to Teal.
And we talk about the lineage of quarterbacks. We can go back years and years and years. There's Cares, there's Gebhardts. We obviously know about Jacobson, and Potacek is just filling in that same spot. He knows the offense so well. He knew his pre-snap reads. He knew exactly where he was going with the football. As soon as he got up there, it was a quick catch the snap and fire. Just a great, great quick play from Potacek.
Gain of 6 puts the football at the 14-yard line. 2nd down and 4. Back to Levon Hopkins. He'll take it off to the right-hand side, sniff the 10-yard line, and brought down there. Another first down for Southeast of Salina, it looks like. It'll be 1st and goal. No, they're going to spot him short. 3rd and inches. Or, as the sign says on the other side, 3rd and 2 foot. I love those sticks.
Those are great eyes. That is fancy.
It is. I love it. So 3rd and a football here for Southeast of Saline. Potacek's going to follow Hopkins through the hole, had to sidestep a Beloit Trojan, and he's going to have the first down. Hit hard, but he was into the linebacker level there before he was taken down and gets the first down. It's 1st and goal now for Southeast of Saline on a gain of 8, at the 8-yard line on a gain of 3.
Yeah, really tough run. Hayden Nicholson makes first contact, and Tiernan just spins out of that and then gets hit pretty hard by 2 Beloit Trojans, but he did a good job avoiding that first. Would have been a tackle for loss if Nicholson would have got him down. Spins out of that, gets Southeast first down.
7:17 left to go here, 4th quarter. 1st and goal, Southeast of Saline. Ball sitting at the 8-yard line. Potacek rolling out to the left, looking at Teal in the end zone. Adam fell down, and I think Tiernan just grounded that football. Aware play there. Teal pushing the DB towards the back of the end zone, then tried to come back to it. When he tried to come back, his feet slipped out from underneath him. Incomplete pass there.
Yeah, you're right. It looks exactly what Tiernan did. He just saw that he knew he was going to go to Teal in that rollout, and he saw that Teal got his feet tangled up. Instead of making some silly pass, just throw that thing into the ground, live for 2nd down.
Friesen still in the backfield along with Hopkins. Keller now in the slot to the left-hand side. Teal out wide left. Tiernan send Keller in motion. They go back to Levon Hopkins, straight up the middle. Look at that offensive line, clearing space. And Levon Hopkins makes it all the way inside of the 5 to about the 2.5. Gain of 9.75 on the play.
But you're exactly right. It's Sawyers. It's Jennings. It's this offensive line that continues to get a push. You know, this second wave of offensive linemen, they look fresh. They still look massive, and they're just making it not easy for Southeast, but my goodness, you're not getting touched till you're 2 or 3 yards past the line of scrimmage.
Potacek, long stare over the sidelines for this 3rd and goal play from the 3. Still plenty of time on the play clock, down to 16 seconds left. Potacek sends a man in motion. He's going to turn, give it to Hopkins. A jump cut outside, takes on a Beloit player and scores. What a run by Levon Hopkins. He started out on the right-hand side behind Gart, ended up on the outside, and was running in behind Garrett Kuhn. And Levon took on a Beloit Trojan and won to get a touchdown. 3 yards away and a touchdown for Levon Hopkins.
Yeah, Kuhn and Weller just did a great job leading the way right there. But Hopkins, much like Gebhardt, he likes contact. He could have made a little move right there. He decides to lower the head. Hopkins won that battle right there for the touchdown.
Going to see our extra point team out up there. Potacek's going to hold it. Malachi Hopkins will attempt a kick here. Lyric Lilly, the long snapper. They'll get the ball down. Hopkins' kick will be up, and it will be no good. So the 3-yard touchdown run by Levon Hopkins puts Southeast of Saline on the board here in the fourth quarter. Take a quick break. We'll be back with more Trojan football here on KIA.
Hey, Trojans fans, this is Angela Gebhardt, proud wife of Southeast Saline head coach Mitch Gebhardt. Just like the Trojans strive for excellence on the field, the Bank of Tesket goes the extra mile to offer top-notch checking accounts that fit your style. Whether you're managing your day-to-day expenses or planning for the future, our checking accounts are easy, convenient, and tailored for you. Plus, with your local roots and friendly service, we're here to support you every step of the way. Go Trojans!
Bank of Tesket, member FDIC.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back here in Beloit, week number 3, high school football. 50-0, Southeast of Saline leading Beloit. Next week, we'll be back at home on the campus of Southeast of Saline. Kingman coming to town. That's been an interesting matchup over the last few years. Remember, they had a matchup that the winner was going to go play in the state title game. Double overtime contest in Kingman. This will be the first time the Eagles have visited Southeast of Saline's campus, though. So an interesting matchup next week, Kingman and Southeast of Saline next Friday night. Malachi Hopkins ready to kick it away once again here for Southeast. Hand in the air as they will return the football back to the Beloit Trojans. Back deep, Joel Fuller, the junior. But this one's going to go to Jacob Hand. He's at the 20, now 25, and then spun around and taken down there by Southeast of Saline's defense. Looked like Elijah Kerr, first one to make contact for Southeast. Pretty good drive there of second-team offense, Tyler.
Yeah, and again, that's something we continue to see, and that's exactly what you want to do. You're not going to see the big plays. You're probably not throwing the ball deep when you have the lead that Southeast does. It almost makes it more difficult because you're taking away half your playbook, but you just saw Potacek and that second-team offense just slowly and just continue to fight and out-physical Beloit for that touchdown drive.
Beloit will start this drive at their own 32-yard line. Truett King, the freshman quarterback. Sure, a learning experience for him tonight going against one of the state's best defenses in Southeast of Saline. First down and 10 for Beloit from their own 32. A lot of clean jerseys, second-teamers out there on defense for Southeast as well. Straight up the gut, Beloit will hand it off to Paxton Fouts. And he will come across the 35-yard line, get to about the 37, and take it down there after a gain of 5.
Yeah, and again, it's just 11 hats to the ball. Every single play. You're seeing, we talk about when you get on the field, you're going to have film watch. You can't lollygag, you can't loaf, and you're seeing Southeast do the opposite of that. They're getting all 11 hats of the football every single play.
Second down and 5 for Beloit. It is a continuous clock with 4.5 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. Another handoff to Fouts. Started on the right-hand side, then he cuts it back. He's going to be near a Beloit first down, and second effort's going to get it as he takes a gain of 7. Boy, just hard running inside there by Paxton Fouts, who was able to just second effort his way towards that first down. He's a sophomore. 2 touchdowns on the year so far on 11 carries coming into this game. And moves the line of scrimmage for Beloit out to the 44.
And again, this isn't the night for Beloit. This isn't going to be the same Beloit team we saw last year, but there's guys. There's guys here. This is just going to be a tough team to play whenever you play in Southeast. But Beloit's got talent still. on their side of the field.
They have a really solid sophomore class. And when you mix that in with a freshman quarterback, it's, they're getting valuable experience right now. Of course, they're going to take their bumps. They're going to start here 1-2 on the season, but it just seems like Beloit, they'll start out 1-2, 2-2, 3-2, and then all of a sudden you talk about the last 4 or 8 teams in each division, and it's always kind of like there's Beloit. Kind of what happened last year. They got hot in the playoffs and started throwing shutouts on defense, and then all of a sudden it's a rematch between Southeast and Beloit for the right to go play Nemaha Central in the state title game. No gain on that play. 2nd down and 10. Clock down to 3 minutes left to go in this game. 50-0, Southeast of Saline. Here's Fouts once again, straight up the gut, and he is going to get about 10 yards. The ball comes loose. Southeast has it, but he was already down, and a gain of 10 for Paxton Fouts. 3rd carry of the night, 22 yards for Paxton Fouts. Tyler's on his way down to the Salina Ortho sidelines. He's going to have comments from Mitch Gebhardt coming up in postgame. We'll also have final check of stats for you. A couple of scores on the Bennington State Bank scoreboard, and a Vernon Jewelers gem of the game. It's all coming up postgame here in less than 3 minutes. King out to the right-hand side. Has a receiver. It's caught out here by Joel Fuller. And Fuller's going to negotiate his way. Zigzag around for a gain of 8. That's Joel Fuller's first catch of the night. He came in with 1 reception, 33 yards for the Beloit Trojans. Football now sitting at the 38-yard line in Southeast of Saline territory. Clock down to 1:49 left to go. Still rolling. King sidearms over the middle of the field. And that one's going to be batted down. Incomplete. And now a late flag comes out. Where did that come out? Wow. Josh Watkins in there on coverage that time. Yeah, that's... I guess when you can't find your flag, it takes a while to get it thrown. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm still kind of unaware what the penalty was.
I don't
where it was. I'm down here on the field and trying to see what the talk is. Let's have some fun. They're inside the red zone for the first time tonight. Let's see what the Southeast defense can keep this score sheet clean.
1st and 10 inside the 20-yard line. 18-yard line is the line of scrimmage here for Beloit. 2 wide receivers to the right. They're going to run it again. Straight up the gut, and maybe a 1.5 yards for Paxton Fouts. Southeast crowd still into it on the far side. Again, the purple wave coming through and traveling very well once again, as we usually expect. Clock down to 42 seconds left to go in this game.
Again, interesting right here. Paxton Fouts, the running back that we just got in talking about, has to come out. I think the helmet came off. And we're talking about the talented sophomore running back that's gotten carries from Beloit. Now they're kind of scrambling right now to see who they get in there. And it's another freshman, Lund, who's going to come into running back.
King wants to throw, steps up, pressure on the outside. Now he's going to put his head down, and he's going to be tackled there by Southeast of Saline's defense. Elijah Kerr in on the tackle at the 12-yard line. That was a gain of 6 on that scramble from Truett King. And that will do it. Southeast of Saline, their backup defense will get the shutout, and they will get the win. 50-0. Southeast of Saline takes out the Beloit Trojans, and they do it in fine fashion. Got a lot of numbers to add up. We'll also come back with some post-game honors. And comments from Mitch Gebhardt, that's all coming up. When we come back, 50-0, Southeast of Saline over Beloit. Postgame begins now, and it's brought to you by Commercial Tire Centers on KINA.
Are you looking for a local brokerage firm to help you with your Medicare, life insurance, and annuities? L&L Advisors is the #1 local Medicare supplement and insurance specialist. Medicare can be confusing. Let the experts at L&L Advisors help make sense of it. Stop by one of 3 locations in Salina or McPherson and speak to an agent about the needs of your family. L&L Advisors, main office at 717 Roach, right off Crawford, and in the Central Mall, Salina, and downtown McPherson. Based on honesty and trust, contact L&L Advisors today.
Sage is your go-to source for industrial strength cleaning products, ice melt, floor equipment, paper, asphalt, and just about everything in between. Whether you're a maintenance supervisor, a small business, or just wanting your home to look amazing, stop by 732 North 9th Street in Salina, where we will be happy to assist you. You can also visit us at sageselects.com or call us at 309-1919. Sage Products, the right call every time.
Obituaries and funeral announcements are available free of charge on the post. This community service is provided in part by Higher Scott Mortuary and Cremations, formerly Roselawn. Higher Scott Mortuary and Cremations, celebrating life, embracing legacy.
In the trenches and on the ground, that's where the game is won. Isaacson Truck Line is a proud supporter of the southeast of Saline Trojans. For local and long-haul service of freight and livestock, call Isaacson Truck Line, reminding you to have a safe Friday night on the roads. Wreak havoc, Trojans.
1, 2, 3, fight! It is third down and 8 for the Trojans. They really need to make the right call here.
During the football game, it's crucial to make the right call. And in real estate, one call can bring a positive outcome from your real estate experience. Whether you're looking for real property, upsizing to make room for the family, downsizing, or acquiring investment property, call Winnell Garrettson at salinahomes.com.
What a call! Touchdown, Trojans!
Buy or sell, call Winnell.
Southeast wins! Southeast of Saline wins! Trojan fans, it's not too late to get your 2024 state championship merch or to get custom gear to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the 2005 state championship team at CopyCo. In addition to great SES gear that you can wear all year round, CopyCo also offers custom printing so you can support any student athlete in any activity from football and basketball to choir and band. See them at 2346 Planet Avenue in Salina.
4 walls and a roof can make a house, but a home, that's where life happens. First steps, backyard birthdays, morning coffee, sunsets on the porch. Home isn't something you buy, it's something you feel. And when it's right, you just know. For 22 years, Dan Goebel has helped people in Salina find that feeling. And now, he's here to help you. Your home is out there. Dan Goebel knows the way. Call 785-819-1904 or visit Salina Homes to find your way home.
Time for the Trojan postgame show on KINA Sports. Stick around for the game recap, final stats, and reaction from the coach. This is Trojan football on KINA.
Back here in Beloit, postgame brought to you by Commercial Tire Centers, awaiting Mitch Gebhardt on the field. Him and Tyler making that way right now. Mitch Gebhardt's interview brought to you by Frisbee Construction. Take it away, fellas.
Yeah, congratulations, Coach, on that victory tonight, 50-0. I know the defending state champs don't need to make statement wins, but how does it feel to blank a Beloit team on their home field?
Well, Beloit's always good. I mean, this is one of our rivals. Obviously, it has been for ever since I've been here, way before that too. So, to score 50 points and not allow them to score is a big deal for our program.
Just tell us about that defensive line. I know, and Devin and I we're extremely guilty of talking about your offense a lot because they're putting up a lot of the points, but at all 3 levels, that defense just looked amazing tonight. Just can you talk us through what they did tonight that was so special?
Well, I felt like the defensive line controlled that line all night long. I mean, we had 3 or 4 guys that we rotated, 5, whatever, and I felt like all of them played very well. I thought Brody had an outstanding night. I'll have to go back and watch the film, and he's a good cat all night, every night. But I thought he was really good tonight. But all those guys, Drew Weller, Tristan, those 3 guys that start, and then the guys that come in for him, I thought they did a good job of controlling that line. Beloit's got a good offensive line, and they did a good job with that. And then, second level guys did a good job of running and making tackles. And I thought our pass coverage was good. They throw the ball obviously more than they have in the past, and I thought our D-backs did a good job with that.
Coach, enjoy this one. 1-0 again. Proved him right. All right. Have a great weekend.
Thank you very much. That's Tyler Smith on the field along with Mitch Gebhardt. And, boy, got to be happy about the game here tonight. 50-0. Southeast of Saline, just 2 touchdowns in the second half as they were up 36-0 at the break. Let's go over some final numbers for you. The statistics brought to you by the Bank of Tesket. Let's first go over Beloit Truett King tonight throwing the football. He was 6 of 12 throwing the football, 42 yards passing. He completed passes to 4 different receivers. Joel Rexroth rushing the football, 16 carries, 53 yards. Paxton Fouts, 4 carries, 24 yards. Truett King ended up 10 carries, 9 yards. For Southeast of Saline, Gannon Jacobson tonight, 14 of 23 passing the football, 261 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. Gannon tonight also had 8 carries for 70 yards on the ground and a touchdown there. Grady Gebhardt, 15 carries for him unofficially, 191 yards and a touchdown on the ground. In the air, receiving 148 yards on 7 receptions, 3 touchdowns for Grady. Kenyon Douglas also had a touchdown reception in this game as well. Levon Hopkins rushed for a touchdown for Southeast of Saline. Final totals for you. Beloit had 89 yards rushing, 42 yards passing, a total of 131 yards of offense. Southeast of Saline, 303 yards on the ground, 267 in the air for a total of 570 yards. Our Everhart Precision Ag Precision Pass of the game was that first touchdown that got Southeast of Saline on the board, a 23-yard connection between Gannon Jacobson and Kenyon Douglas. The 2-point conversion run by Grady Gebhardt made it 8-0 with 9:26 left to go in the first quarter. That was our first score of the night and our Everhart Precision Ag Precision Pass of the night. Our Vernon Jewelers gem of the game, man, how can you not go with Grady Gebhardt? 191 on the ground, 148 in the air, 4 total touchdowns as he does his best Al Bundy impression once again, scoring 4 touchdowns in a high school football game. Did Grady Gebhardt tonight as he led Southeast of Saline to 570 yards of total offense in this game. And what a great outing again for Southeast of Saline as they go 1-0. That's their mantra every single week, and it's working out. That winning streak now has been pushed out to 16 games, dating back to the playoff loss that happened back in 2023. Of course, running the table last year and starting out 3-0 this season. Tyler, your final thoughts on this one. Coach Gebhardt, awfully happy after the game.
He really was. You saw more emotion from that Southeast team than I've seen this season, being on staff with you, and I think they understand the importance of coming into Beloit. I mean, you come into Beloit, you come into a league rival, and not just a league rival, but this Beloit team will always have state championship aspirations. It doesn't matter how they start. Coach Cooper will get things going, and we'll talk about them in the postseason. They'll do things. They're a talented team, but to come in here and to blank them 50-0, again, like I said with Coach Gebhardt, you don't need statement wins when you're the defending state champs. However, you're going to scroll across this score and see 50-0, and that's going to raise some eyebrows that this Southeast of Saline team has not dropped off any.
And as we are all guilty when we see scores and we're doing that on Friday nights or listening to the scoreboard show, you don't get all the details, right? You don't get Southeast has problems with penalties right now through their first 3 games. Tonight, for some reason in the passing game, they had problems with drops. They had their first turnovers of the season. They come into this game 3-0 in turnover ratio. They hadn't had a turnover yet. They had 2 of them tonight. One of them cost them a touchdown. The other one may have cost them a touchdown. Those are things that I'm sure are going to be brought up. And right now, if you're Southeast of Saline, you have to be kind of in that think tank of you're winning convincingly, but yet that coaching staff still has some ammunition.
No, you're exactly right. And as a coaching staff, you like that, right? You don't want to play perfect in week 3, because if you're playing perfect in week 3, it's really difficult to coach week 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, as you carry on. It's always nice to be able to find those little things that you can work on, and those little things are what make you play deep into the postseason. And we know this team, that's the goal. That's the run, is to continue to play, to get that, to make sure you have that Thanksgiving Day practice. I mean, that's such a special thing you can do as a football team, and that's the ultimate goal.
The other thing you don't see if you just see the score, you don't see that Beloit's down a couple of really big players. I mean that literally and figuratively. A couple of guys on the offensive line that definitely make a difference. And I said it before the game concluded, this is a Beloit team that continues to get better. That's their mantra under Brad Gober, is they start out, they step up in classification to play Concordia. They have a tough schedule. They play Southeast of Saline, obviously. This Beloit team is going to be there towards the end of this stretch. They're going to have to be a team that's dealt with in the West. As I said when you were going down to the field, Tyler, this is a team that all of a sudden we're watching them shut out Gart and Plain last year. I know, at least in my mind, I have my thoughts. I'm like, man, we're probably going to play Gart and Plain next week, a week from the game that we were in. Then all of a sudden I look at the score and Beloit shuts them out. they have back-to-back shutouts to get them to that semifinal game with Southeast of Saline. So just because you see the score and it's 50-0 after this one, don't dismiss the Beloit Trojans by any means as we go through this season. Next up for Southeast of Saline, they will return home, and they will play a team once again up in classification. Also, not a district game. It's a game that Coach Gebhardt has put on the schedule to help his team get better, and that's the Kingman Eagles. We know there's history there between the two teams. In the last couple of meetings, they have split. There's also still some just kind of sore feelings right now that a game that kept Southeast of Saline out of a potential state title game on a double overtime game, and that's a game that'll be fun next week. Kingman has a lot of skill players coming back. They're going to be good, and they're going to test Southeast of Saline next week on campus. Don't forget about the Scoreboard Show coming up from 10 until 11 o'clock. Eric Peterson will take you around the state of Kansas. We'll have scores and game wraps from across the state of Kansas. That'll do it from Beloit tonight. Nick Garswidger, producer and engineer, back at Studio Central. I want to thank Nick for his help as always tonight. Also, Brian Denton providing that live stream video. You can go back and watch this game anytime you want, free of charge, on demand on YouTube with Salina Post Sports. Brought to you tonight by Salina Ortho. For Tyler Smith, my name's Devin Haney. Have yourself a great weekend. We will fill the gap between now and the Scoreboard Show with little Chiefs action as they get ready for Sunday Night Football. That'll be here on KINA as well on Sunday night. Pregame starting along the Chiefs radio network on KINA and 99 KG at 6 o'clock for a 7:15 kick. It's the Chiefs in New York to face the Giants. Mitch Holtis, little nugget this week, Tyler. That is the only place on the road against the Giants the Chiefs have never won as a franchise. So that's something to put in there well. And also, you don't want to start 0-3. That would be good as well. Have yourselves a good night tonight. It's Southeast of Saline winning the 2025 edition of the Trojan War 50-0 right here on KINA.